Young Philly, young Philly, young Philly, and we are live. Um, welcome everyone, welcome everyone. I have with me here Mr. M. Shout out to you. How you doing, Mr. M? You all right, bro?
I'm alright, brother. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Hopefully, we should see Hassan as well. Join us very, very soon. And today we're going to be talking about why it's over for young Philly. All right, we've got a lot to react to, a lot to get through. Um, First and foremost, Mr. M, what do you reckon? What do you reckon with this story, Mr. Oh, what's his name, Mr. Sorry, Philly, young Philly. This thing with Philly. When you
I
first
think,
heard the news, what were you thinking? Like, what was going through your head?
when I first heard the news, I wouldn't say I was surprised. He's a young man. He's successful. He's living the love fast life. He's on tour currently. And that was the reason why he was in Australia because he was on tour as well. So no, I wouldn't say it's surprising. And especially with all the things happening around Diddy right now as well. So it's kind of befitting.
Hold on, befitting, you know. Um, I, that's a bit mad. That's a bit mad still. But when you say you weren't surprised, what of the grape allegations, or you weren't surprised that the grape allegations was brought to him?
I wasn't
Like, did you
surprised.
think?
I
Did
wasn't
you think,
surprised.
oh my days, he's the type to grape someone, so I'm not surprised.
Oh
Is
no
that
no
how
no no
you
no no
feel?
no. Oh no no.
Okay, okay,
That thought would never cross my mind for anybody. Um,
good,
es-
good,
e-
good.
Especially for somebody. No, I wouldn't say for anybody. Especially for somebody I don't know. I don't know Philly. I don't know how he is as a person. You know.
Mm.
Um, I understand that people can be different to the persona that they play online. They could be completely different people at home. To their loved ones, to their people. But yeah, no, I never thought, initially, yeah, he seems like the type of person that would do something like that. No, that thought never crossed my mind. What I was initially, what I do know is, young successful men rappers, they, they've been in these situations before. This is not something that is new to anyone. Where young men are accused of rape, and there are true victims of rape as well. Like, let's not forget that as well. There are honest
Bro,
victims.
let's use the word grape instead. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
grape.
yeah, yeah, of
You,
grape.
you
Yeah,
know how
yeah,
YouTube, you know how YouTube moves. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
There are true victims of grape. So let's not belittle their pain as well and their suffering. But yeah, no, that thought didn't cross my mind. What about yourself? What do you think? What was your initial thought when you heard the
Um,
news?
like you just literally said, I wasn't surprised because the way I think of it is we live in an extremely promiscuous society, world. We live in a promiscuous society. The Western world is extremely promiscuous. So to me, that comes with the territory. That if everyone is um, living this promiscuous lifestyle, there is no, these type of things are supposed to happen. If I mean, the best way of kind of like
Yeah,
stopping something like this happening is if you got married to one woman. But if you're sleeping with so many different women and you're really living out this promiscuous lifestyle, you don't know these women from nowhere. You don't know what their intentions are. You don't know. So these things are bound to happen. These things are bound to happen because you're living a promiscuous lifestyle. So these are the consequences that come with that type of lifestyle. Look, I'm, for a religious person. I mean, I wasn't sitting there like everyone else. Wow, oh my days, I can't believe it. I was sitting there. Oh, how long was, what I mean? It took a while. What I mean? It was about to happen. Um, and yeah, so it didn't surprise me one bit that this happened to him. And like you mentioned as well, it consistently happens. It happens to a lot of famous people. They get accused of rape. Now, whether it happened or didn't happen, we don't know. We're gonna have to wait for the court proceedings. Um, to go through the motions and all of that. So we're gonna have to wait until all the facts come out. But we don't know whether he's guilty or not guilty. So, but what I do know is this: if you're living a promiscuous lifestyle, you are more likely to encounter these type of issues. It just comes with the territory. So it didn't surprise me one little
Yeah,
one little
yeah, yeah. Exactly like you said, it comes with the territory.
bit. And but since then, because we're gonna be reacting to a couple of things, but since then we've had loads of people reacting to it. We had Fresh and Fit. They had something to say about it, especially Fresh. We've had even women from Australia, turning around and saying, "Well, young Philly was set up." Um, there's, you've got Fresh on one hand saying, "Oh wow, like, he's that type of guy. He's very clingy. He's very this and that and that." And then you've got on the other side, a woman from Australia saying, "Well, we know who this woman is. She's done it before." And she even offered an apology, apologized to rappers in UK for because these things apparently consistently happens over there or something like that. But she was talking about there's a culture in Australia of women who like to do these things to men. So she was apologizing on behalf of all the good women in Australia. So they a lot has been said in regards to this situation, but to be honest with you, we won't know anything, or we won't know exactly what's going on until the court case is over. So, me personally, I'll tell everyone to wait. But yeah, a lot has been said. Now I'm just thinking what to react to. What do you think of the different opinions? Do you really think he's guilty of it? Do you really think he's done it?
Like I said, I don't know the guy enough to say whether or not he's done it. But I trust the Australian justice system. I trust that they can do the correct job, with the professionals and get to the bottom of this. They're in the position to do that. Um, y-
What,
Whether
what
or
would
not
you
he's
say
done
to
it,
people? What would you say to people that say, he's got girls throwing themselves at his feet? Why would he do something like that? That just doesn't make sense. What would you say to people that use that type of logic?
uh, I, I I I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's not a reason why someone wouldn't do such a heinous act. They can, even with all of the women that are throwing themselves at them, they could be the type of person that gets off of using their power to get something off of someone that doesn't want to give it to them, as opposed to the girls that are just throwing themselves at them. So yeah, I say that. To that, I would say, yeah, that's just, I can see where they're coming from, but it's a bit naive to think that way.
I agree. I agree 100%, bro. I think we're going to agree a lot on this live. We seem to be seeing it from, yeah. Okay, let's start reacting to a few things. I was waiting for Mr. Hassan, but he's taking his sweet time. So let's start reacting to a couple of things. And
Yeah, no worries, go
I know
for it.
he's I know he's listening. This guy. Hold on a second, bro. Um, I want to get your perspective on this guy here. Hassan sent me this one here and this video.
So you're telling me all the money and the fame Young Fee's got, he went and caught a case over this thing here, this meaty thing. What's going on? This is pub grub. Guilty or not guilty of the grape? Young Philly, you are definitely guilty of having no taste. My guy, you're in Australia. You could have been mashing Samoan things, but you went and chose bangers and mash. Rude boy, you could have got bangers and mash in England. Dr. Umar has been warning you, man, about these snow bunnies. You, man, don't listen. Allegedly, the girl that's accusing young Philly of the grape, her name is Emma Burns, who's an Australian sex worker. What's going on, Philly? You saying you're paying for pussy? She also tried to accuse Bryson Tiller of grape allegations as well. So this girl is dangerous. Typical Becky behavior. Young Philly, you went out wrong, guilty or not. This is crazy. All that money, all that fame, you're out mashing these dead things. Nah, man.
What's your reaction to that, bro? I'm very
He's
curious.
he's
Oh, let me just address Hassan.
what's your fuck?
Hassan, jump in, man. What's wrong with you? You guys started without me. You're a joker, Hassan. Okay, what's my thoughts?
Jay Penny is here
Hold on a
just
second.
again show his talent, show his skill, show.
What the hell? My thoughts when it came to this brother here, he reminds me. Look at the language that he's using. First of all, I don't condone swearing and all of that, so I apologize to everyone watching. We don't really like to do too much swearing in this channel. We try to avoid it as much as possible. Second, everything he's saying is very indicative. Even the tone that he's using, the way he's speaking about the situation, is very indicative of the kind of culture that we live in the West. A very highly promiscuous culture. Referring to the girl that instead of focusing on the severity of the issue, he would rather refer to the girl as a dead thing. You know, he should be with some Samoans instead of these snow bunnies, using these derogatory terms. So what I picked up the most, jokes aside, what I picked up the most on was the fact that you know, it's like the promiscuous culture is a given. That's what you should be doing in the West. This is how you should be moving. So according to him, if you're gonna take what he says seriously, according to him, he should have been caught with a Samoan team rather than a snow bunny team. Be promiscuous. Live a promiscuous lifestyle. Not once he stopped to think and say, you know what, it's because he is living this lifestyle, this promiscuous lifestyle, that he got himself in the situation. Not once did he think like that, or even took the conversation to it didn't even cross his mind. Almost, it was almost like, yeah, yeah. The only thing that he was really concerned about is that she was a dead thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was his biggest concern. So yeah, that was my take on that video there. Yeah, thoughts?
Yeah, I'll let Hassan. Do you want to come in, Hassan?
How you doing, guys?
Good,
You
good,
made your
good.
special entrance, Hassan. Happy now?
My special interest. You said you're starting at 12, and then you come in at 11. What's going on here?
My bad, my bad, my bad. I'm trying to get the hang of all of this,
No, I'm just
bro.
messing. I'm just messing. I was just a
Go
bit busy,
ahead.
but you said the video. Yeah, I guess it's very juvenile description because, as you said, the severity of the situation. To say that it may be worth risking being charged or associated with that if she was attractive enough, it's a bit. It misses the point, and I guess it points out the problem that acquiring women or chasing women is the achievement, and whatever happens after that is whatever. So yeah, pub grub, is very derogatory and it's unnecessary.
I
Yeah,
think we're being. I think we're being very harsh. Especially considering how old um that individual was. He seems like he was possibly under 20. So there's definitely there's some comedic elements to it. He's definitely trying to trigger people. He's definitely trying to get laughs. He sounds like what the comment section looks like. So it's almost like he knows exactly who his audience is. People love controversial comments, and people love to hear controversial comments. He's young enough to not care enough to say and speak that in the way he's speaking. So I think we need to bear that in mind as well. He definitely, if we take all the comedic elements of it, he's just he's making very crude jokes about like you said, a serious situation. But he's a young man, and we have to bear that in mind, I say.
you know what? Do you know what you just said there? Shouts to everyone watching. We've got 18 of you guys, sorry, 19 of you guys watching. Shouts to everyone watching and tuning in to the channel. Do you know what you said that kind of scared me a little bit, Mr. M? It's when you said, he's a young man. If this is how, you know, the young generation is growing up like, you know, and it's almost a given, like that the young generation will behave like that. And I think that's exactly the problem. If the young generation have this type of mentality, this type of you know, like when I say mentality, I'm talking about if the attitude towards promiscuity is what this young man is showing us. If this is the attitude to promiscuity, then yeah, men are going to be in trouble going forward because you know women will take advantage of that. Oh, sorry. When I say women, I don't mean all women, of course. Um, women like women that prey on these guys, on these guys' sexual weakness. They will prey on these guys, and they will take advantage of that because they understand that the culture. This is what the culture pushes. So yeah, it kind of scared me a little bit when you said, he's young. If he's young and he's growing up like this and having this attitude towards it, towards promiscuity, then yeah, the Western man is in trouble in every possible imaginable way. They're in trouble.
I get how we can be from it's a comedy sketch, right? He's being humorous, and I guess for somebody to take that and dissect it to a great extent may seem like pearl clutching, but once you see that he's not playing, how can I say, it's not a Borat type character. It's something that is said frequently, and it's an attitude that is common. Even the show that they're on, the Beta Squad show, there's one show that they have where it's dating. So it's 5 girls and 1 guy, and the girls have to convince the guy that they like them for them, and if they successfully dupe the contestant, one of the Beta Squad guys, they can win money. And at the end, they just reveal, I'm actually not interested in you. I'm interested in the money or whatever. These type of interactions between men and women, if it's done in humor, it's fine. But unfortunately, it's not done in humor. There's a certain level of commonality. It's a common perception to say, well, she's so attractive, therefore it's worth the risk associated with interacting with her, which is not a good attitude because most people aren't, how can I say, mature enough at that age to make those type of decisions, to understand the value of relationships and things like this. So when something that would often be taken as a joke, this is what leads to that type of mentality. It does seem like pearl clutching. I get your perspective, Mr. M. It is a bit humor, but it's also indicative of the attitude. He's tapping into what the real attitude is. It's pursue for the sake of pursuing, and whatever risks that are involved, then so be it. And it's unfortunate because there's a great number of side effects. Children out of wedlock, rape allegations, and the more allegations there are, the more it becomes the norm that somebody would be accused of rape or grape or something along those lines would happen. There's a variety of issues that come from this, and this is a byproduct of the sort of, I guess, red pill content type environment, social media environment that we're living in. It's something that has consequences is being perceived as not having consequences.
Yeah, Mr. M, go ahead, bro. You want to reply to that, Mr. M?
No, I definitely agree with both your points. I understand where you're both coming from with regard to that particular clip.
I hear that.
Question.
All right, let's move on to Fresh and Fit now, yeah? Fresh had a lot to say in regards to, what's his name, Young Philly. So I think I've got the right time stamp. Let's just go along with it.
When I first saw this, I was like, famous guy, successful, has some money. Like, this is bullshit, right? Like, there's a high likelihood that it's a lie. But I don't know anymore. I really don't know. I mean, I'm gonna assume innocent until proven guilty. You know a lot more. You shared some of those things with me, but you didn't go into the full detail. So I'll turn it over to you, man.
Bring in my X post if you don't mind, Bills.
Your expo?
Yeah. Somebody post on X regarding this article from Drama Alert. And I said, I'm all for protecting men when false accused, but this nigga right here, bro, where do I begin? Anyone that knows how this nigga moves with gal can tell you he moved too thirsty. Got a story about him in the UK club with a girl, but shit, I'm not surprised. Hashtag no Philly.
No Philly.
So listen, man, I have no hate for Philly at all. I think he did well for himself and his career. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
Fresh calling Thursday. But
yeah, that's bad.
guys, by the way, go to my Twitter real quick and follow me, man. Go support me. I'm almost at 20K people.
First CEO Network
followers,
is the name.
bro. Shout out to you guys for supporting, bro. I'm gonna tweet a lot more, pretty much every day now, in response to people's posts. So go check it out.
Guys, just quickly, do you think it has no hate for Philly at all? After reading that, was that on X? Where did he post that? That was on X, right? Okay. After reading that message, what he wrote on X, do you think he has any hatred for Philly at all?
What did he write on X?
Do you want me to rewind it a little bit more?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. I wasn't
So
watching.
he wasn't paying attention
Well,
again, Hassan?
Who wrote what on X? Sorry.
Exactly. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Don't do that. Don't go behind Mr. M, bro. All right, this is I'm gonna repeat it one more time, okay? So basically, hold on a second, guys. Hold on. Bear with me for a moment, guys. Dang.
This nigga moves with gal can tell you he moved too thirsty. Got a story about him in the UK club with a girl.
And then like a lot of those like other like big YouTubers, why haven't any of them come out to defend him? That's my question.
Sound familiar? Diddy. Who's defending Diddy? Nobody. But why is that though? Could it be true?
Well, let me give you my take on it, then you're going to go, because I know you got a lot to say. When I first saw this, I was like, famous guy, successful, has some money. Like, this is bullshit, right? Like, there's a high likelihood that it's a lie. But I don't know anymore. I really don't know. I mean, I'm going to assume innocent until proven guilty. You know a lot more. You shared some of those things with me, but you didn't go into the full detail. So I'll turn it over to you, man.
Bring in my X post if you don't mind, Bills.
Your expo?
Yeah. Somebody post on X regarding this article from Drama Alert. And I said, I'm all for protecting men when false accused, but this nigga right here, bro, where do I begin? Anyone that knows how this nigga moves with gal can tell you he moved too thirsty. Got a story about him in the UK club with a girl, but shit, I'm not surprised. Hashtag no Philly.
No Philly.
So listen, man, I have no hate for Philly at all. I think he did well for himself and his career. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Fresh calling Thursday. But
yeah, that's bad.
guys, by the way, go to my Twitter real quick and follow me, man. Go support me. I'm almost at 20K.
All right, so that's what he posted on X. All right, so that's what he posted on X.
No, he didn't post that. That was sent to him. Someone
that was
else
sent
posted
to him.
that. Yeah, that's what I was trying to. Yeah, that's what I was confused about. So that's what he even stated. He goes, "Someone sent me this," and when I've read the name, it wasn't his name. It was someone else wrote that tweet, but someone sent that to Fresh.
So he retweeted it.
I think he may have retweeted it. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah,
I don't know
because
if
it's on
he's
his account.
Yeah, he may have retweeted it.
Yeah, because it's on his account, and he was reading it from his account. So either he wrote it or he basically retweeted it, which basically means he agrees with it. Then he turns around and says he has no hate for Philly. What do you guys think?
He's got his own personal story, where he goes on to say that he was in a club with a girl, and Philly took that girl away from him, but then eventually that girl later on that evening was brought back to him, So he's got some. He may have an agenda to talk badly of Philly. He may have even a reason to talk badly of Philly. We don't know if Philly took his girl or made him feel some type of way when he came to London because they've had some sort of interaction. So I don't know about their history, but he definitely could say something. He could be saying these things obviously to be controversial because he's got a brand where they speak about topics that are current affairs, or he may have an agenda.
Yes, because he says, I'm all for protecting men when falsely accused. I'm actually reading the tweet. I'm all for protecting men when falsely accused, but this nigga right here, bruh, where do I begin? Anyone that knows how this nigga moves with Gyal can tell you he moved too thirsty. Got a story about him got a story about him in a UK club with a girl, but shit, I'm not surprised. Bro, this sounds like he's the one who tweeted this. What's his name? Walter. Fresh. So because he actually says got a story about him in the UK club with a girl, but shit, I'm not surprised. What okay, my take on this is like you met the guy once, he gave you
No, you're right.
he
You're right. Sorry, I just read it. I just zoomed into the name. That is his tweet. What was underneath it wasn't his. Sorry, the drama alert wasn't his. I was reading that. I didn't see the part above.
okay, okay. Yeah, like I just find it funny that this happens, and then he had one experience with a guy, okay, in a club, and off of that, on the strength of that, he goes on to basically write a very inflammatory tweet, in my opinion. You know what I mean about him. Um, uh, you know, I mean, Fresh is not a nobody. He is someone who is known. People do know about the Fresh and Fit podcast. So for him to say something like this, he moves too thirsty. Anyone that knows this nigga, anyone that knows how this nigga moves with Gal can tell you he moves too thirsty. Like the way he's painting him, but off of that one experience that he had with him in the club, you know. So to me, that's it's a bit shady. It's a bit shady for him to make that judgment about Philly, just off of that one experience that he had with Philly. Anyways, maybe he knew more and he just didn't want to say anything. Maybe that's the case. But from what he has said about him, if it I don't know if this was the right tweet. I don't know if it deserved this type of tweet. Put it that way. This type of message. Yeah, Hassan, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so I think he's been promoting his Twitter account recently, Fresh, because he's just. I don't think his account is that old. I think he's been trying to promote it for some time. So he's trying to build his brand on Twitter or X or whatever it's called. So it could be a strategy because he's got new controversies on Twitter now. Him and Zerka have issues now, and they're having a discussion about Zerka right now, where Walter accuses him of being a PDF file. So I think I think a bit of this is about trying to gain attention to a certain extent. Because as you said, one interaction with him doesn't certify that he's a rapist. So, and plus, what happened to standing behind men who are falsely accused? I mean, there's no certainty of what's going on here. There is, he's in the legal process. So the idea that it's certified and he's right to say this, it's a bit silly.
Yeah, but
I think.
Sorry, go ahead, Mister.
Sorry. I think there's a lack of consistency because obviously, when the Tate brothers were accused, he stood behind them, and he's got his reason to stand behind them as well. He's obviously There may be business ties there, or there may be a business interest there. He has no links with Philly whatsoever. He doesn't lose anything. He doesn't burn any bridges. And he possibly believes he's got better links in the UK than Philly anybody anyway. Provided that interaction wasn't a good one, that could give him motivation to not even want to, speak about him in a good manner. Hence, obviously with all of that, including the fact that he wants to promote his Twitter, it could just all line up, like Hassan was saying. But yeah, he's got no reasons. He's got no allegiance to Philly whatsoever. So, and honestly, I think we've got high expectations of this fresh fella. Like why wouldn't he speak badly of someone, and why wouldn't he kick a person when they're down? We don't know this person's character. We don't know what he's like. So yeah, that's my take on it.
I reckon that you see when he said no Philly, everyone knows what no Philly is. It's like saying no Diddy, right? For you to compare him to Diddy, or for you to, I think that's crazy. I personally reckon that's crazy. It's like, yo, you had one encounter with this guy. You don't know that you don't know much in terms of of having more interactions with the guy. For you to take it to no Philly, or implying no Diddy, I think it's a bit it's a bit mad, to be honest with you. So I think you guys are both right. I think what you're saying is right. Maybe there's beef behind the scenes. Maybe something must have happened for him to want to throw this guy underneath the bus like this. But I definitely found that very strange, for what's his name, Fresh, to behave in that way or to say the things that he was saying. Maybe he knows more. I don't know. But this guy called Holy, be careful with that name, bro. He says, "You man know he coughed in the mic, right?" Um, yes, 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 you did. Did you guys pick that up? Yeah. The girl asked him, Philly, do you have anything to say? And he coughed. All right. No one is talking about that because everyone is stupid. And he says, but I'm saying it now. He coughed into the mic, aka I'm innocent. All right. Okay, let's carry on. Let's carry on with the reaction.
This nigga moves with gal. Can tell you he moved too thirsty. Got a story about him in the UK club with a girl, but shit, I'm not surprised. Hashtag no Philly.
No Philly.
So listen, man, I have no hate for Philly at all. I think he did well for himself and his career. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Fresh calling Thursday. But
yeah, that's bad.
guys, by the way, go to my Twitter real quick and follow me, man. Go support me. I'm almost at 20K people.
First CEO Network
followers,
is the name.
bro. Shout out to you guys for supporting, bro. I'm gonna tweet a lot more, pretty much every day now, in response to people's posts. So go check it out. Yeah. But I went to the UK a couple months ago. We did the show Grilling, me and Myron. And I was with a YouTuber as well, and Tropstar, shout out to them. We're wearing their merch right now. And we went to a club, a club in the UK. Now, I mentioned the story.
I did not go to this club. This is the story where Cheyenne got mad at me because I talked about her friend being big. It was that night.
Really?
Well, I was not gonna call her name, but okay.
My bad.
Yeah,
All right.
let's think of that.
All right.
Anyhow, so we went out
Tell
to...
the full story, nigga. Come on.
No, but you calling names now. I don't want to call any names on purpose. So we are going to the club, and good time, good vibes. People are saying, "Yo, Fresh, good to see you, bro. Love your show, showing love." And we're like 5 girls, a couple baddies.
Were there other YouTubers there?
Yes. Yeah.
Who else was there?
Bro, you
Tell the story.
Yo, bro. This nigga, bro.
They didn't do nothing wrong. They're just there with you.
They don't want to be involved, bro.
All right.
This is what.
All right. This dude Fresh is the worst storyteller, bro.
No, it's because I'm protecting their brand, bro. Like,
okay, all right.
You just said earlier they don't want to be seen with us. So why are you telling the people who they are? You want this nigga, bro?
Well, I didn't know if they were worried about.
Yes, they were worried about.
Oh, so they're normie people too.
I'm not saying their names.
Okay, all right.
Anyhow, so we go out with some YouTubers, man. They're showing us love. Buying bottles too. I'm supporting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Show Tropstar as well, supporting. And there's some baddies at the table. A couple baddies. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lie. I didn't see any baddies in the streets. But in the club, there were some baddies in the UK.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we're there having a great time. The club is closing in like 30 minutes or so. Out of the blue, this guy pops up. I'm like, who's this nigga? Talking to the girls, touchy-feely. I'm just like, did someone invite this nigga? Mind you, I don't know who he is.
Okay, you didn't know.
I didn't know who he
you
was.
Didn't know who he was at that time.
Yeah. So then the girl next to me that's also a YouTuber was like, yeah, well, that's so-and-so. He's a popular YouTuber here in the UK. I was, oh, okay, cool. Maybe he knows the girls, whatever. Mind you, he didn't know most of the girls there. He just knew one of them that I was talking to, which is fine. And we're chilling, vibing, whatever. Remember, I said the club's closing in like 30 minutes. He comes at the very end of the night at a club, and he's there at the table. I'm like, who's this guy, whatever. So then he's talking to most girls at the table. And the one I'm talking to, he takes particular interest into. So he's like talking to her, touching her, whatever. She's looking at me like, yo, like, what you trying to do? I'm like, listen, do your thing, because I'm not gonna, force it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm talking to the YouTuber girl, and she's like, yo, listen, like, I know she wants to go home with you, so I'm gonna,
because that was her friend, right?
yeah. So I'm gonna talk to her because I can tell he's being very pushy, which hence is Young Philly. The nigga's like thirsty, bro. Like when I say like overly thirsty, is like grabbing her, trying to pull her to the car, take away from her friend. This is like, bro, do your thing. I'm not gonna stop you because hey, that's only your brother. She's a grown woman. You're a grown man. Do what you gotta do. But it was like,
was he like drunk?
People could say he was. I don't know. They could see he was very like.
But he came at the end.
Very end, yeah. So I'm like, listen.
Did you know who you were? Did he even introduce himself or anything?
We spoke for a little bit. And I say, yo, listen, bro.
Did he say what's up? Like,
well, she introduced us together, the YouTuber girl, and we spoke for maybe 5 minutes. I gave my Instagram, he gave me his. We follow each other, and then we DM each other the next day. But in real time, bro, I'm like, nigga, you see me with Shorty, like, are you good?
Oh, he saw you with her.
Yeah, for real.
And he still was
so I'm like, listen, bro, this is your city, bro.
Okay, that changes things a lot.
Yeah.
So he literally he walks in, he sees you talking to her,
yeah,
and you're with her.
Like she's dancing with me.
Just for one
Yeah,
second.
no, go ahead, because I was gonna stop it there. I hate Fresh, man. He can't tell a story for nothing. Anyways, bro, this guy drags it, man. Yeah, reactions, please.
Yeah, so just a few things. One, he's a horrible storyteller. Horrible. It's unpleasant listening to. Yeah, fair use. Yeah, it's horrible. I don't know why. I don't care about Fresh and Fit. I don't care about Red Pill. But even if I was 16, I wouldn't want to hear this story because it's just mumbling all over the place. And I'm not the best speaker, but this is unfair to the audience. This is abuse. That's one. That's horrible. Please. Take some acting classes. It's easy. It's fine. Two, a very low character. Because he did say that you're a grown woman, he's a grown man, you guys can do what you want. That's what I heard very clearly. It's a case of I'm not involved in whatever interact. You're both adult men, adult people. Whatever woman Philly was trying to pursue, Fresh was making it clear to their face that he's not involved. And they're responsible for their own actions. But then obviously repeating the story and putting him in a negative light, it lacks character. You could have said there and then, hey, you're a very strange person, whatever. Don't interact with women like this, even though she's not my girlfriend or whatever. I don't feel comfortable around you behaving like this or whatever. Or keep quiet about it. But either way, repeating it here, I don't respect it. Thirdly, he's complaining about a girl that he was associated with, Philly pursuing her. Isn't that what the Red Pill is against? That sort of beta behavior? If you're pursuing her and you're interested in her and another man's talking to her and you didn't take up the time to make it clear, hey, I'm pursuing her, whatever the issue is, don't be frustrated if he pays her attention and you do not make it clear that you have some sort of interest. It's very weaselly and cowardly, though, the whole thing. What I'm hearing anyway.
Mr. M, what do you think? Mr. M? Hello. What happened to Mr. M?
He's off mute.
Yeah, he's off mute, so he should be able to hear us, right?
I think
Mr. M, can you hear me?
we can't hear you.
I'm not sure what's happened. It might come. Oh, it's gonna. It might come back again.
Ah,
My take on this is sounds as if fresh.
mm.
Hold on, he's back. He's back again.
Yeah, sorry. Can you
Mister,
guys hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What's your take? What's your reaction?
Yeah, I agree with everything Hassan said. You know, he sounds like he's complaining about Philly
Yes.
taking the girl that he was initially speaking to. Um, and as a result of that, now he's gonna speak badly of him, and that's what I thought initially anyway. And yeah, and again, I do agree with um Hassan. He is a shocking storyteller.
Very shocking. I think so too. It sounds like young Philly got on his nerves. He didn't. He was pursuing a girl, and young Philly turns up and he kind of ruined what he had going on, or it ruined his pursuit. Put it that way. And it sounds like he became angry about that, and now and now he's just decided to shed on him basically, turn on him. But yeah, it sounds as if it's more to do with him not with young Philly not with him not getting what he wanted out of that night as far as pursuing that girl goes. So I think that's what it was really about. I don't think it was necessarily to do with young Philly and how he behaved, even though his behavior could be alarming. You could say, yeah, how he was behaving wasn't right. But to me, just listening to him telling the story, it was to me sounds like he was annoyed at young Philly because young Philly didn't, because young Philly kind of interrupted whatever he had planned, as far as that girl went. So yeah, that's my take on it. That's my take on it.
Can I
And
add
he's just
something?
and he's literally just hating. To me, this is nothing but hating. And yeah, bro, he's just being a hater at this point. Yeah, go ahead, Hassan. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is I never looked at. Well, I usually don't watch like Fresh and Fit that much, but it putting two and two together now. Of I was in a club, I liked a girl. He took an aggressive approach in terms of pursuing the girl, and she showed me less attention. Then I became jealous. Now he's been accused of something. Now I'm confirming that he most likely did it. Is a level of animosity, jealousy, weaseliness that is so dangerous. And this is what I've seen a lot. I feel like I've seen a lot of this on YouTube with affiliates. It's deep down feminist men, I guess, or beta men. I guess he should join Beta Squad. I guess he should be. This is the real Beta Squad. Because it's so disgusting. It's so low character. Because you were rebuffed because you have a deep insecurity and an inability to acquire as many women as you desire. A man who may have some sort of dominance within, or confidence, I don't want to use the word dominance, confidence with women that you may not lack and that might have outshined you or made you feel little. You're now jumping on his back like those WWE matches where it would be like two short guys against one person. Little people is the word.
Yeah,
Two little
yeah.
people, yeah, on one big regular.
Handicap match.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah. I guess that's the way to describe it. And that's what it seems like. It's a case. It's like, bro, like if you have to pay for female attention and you need to be somewhat famous and you need a fancy car and things like this, don't be surprised when you see like Mike Tyson. Remember Mike Tyson when he used to box? He used to come in with no shoe, no socks, and just a towel on his head and just destroy the other guy. And the other guy used to have a grand entrance. Some people just you have to accept that you can't be as much of a champion in your mind and as you desire as reality will allow you to be. And this is another problem with the red pill YouTube sphere. A lot of insecure weak men leading other weak men, but not ultimately resolving their deep insecurities to the point where they make pursuing women as some sort of way of making up for their own inadequacy. And then when they're confronted with the reality of their inadequacy, they just turn on other men. It's, oh, this guy is this, is that, blah, blah. Or they turn on women, or they get angry, or something like this. And it's just a case of, why not just seek therapy? Why not just accept that you're not as capable with the opposite gender or whatever as much as you'd like to be, and that's okay. You don't need 50 women. You just need a good woman by your side, and be humble. Don't get fancy cars and fancy clothes and try to impress women with money and buying, because you're just going to end up being very quickly in a place that you may cause more issues for yourself, like ruining your own character, asking women to get an abortion, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, do you know it's funny because people would say, "Well, he slept with a lot of women, so this wouldn't have been too much of an issue." He, because he lives that lifestyle, of pursuing women, getting women. So, Figgy coming in and kind of aggressively pursuing that woman and him losing out for a little bit, it wouldn't have bothered him that much. But that's actually a lie. He obviously has bothered them. So the consequences of pursuing lust doesn't necessarily make you more stoic in your, when it comes to these situations. The right thing, I mean, the right way of handling that situation would have been for him to say, okay, I don't own that woman. She's not my wife. She's I was pursuing her, and that guy came over. I'm gonna back off and let that be that. But obviously, he held resentment. He became angry about it, and this um, is a testament to living that lifestyle, living a lustful lifestyle. The consequences of it doesn't necessarily make you a more stoic man. Doesn't make you a stoic man. It doesn't make you someone who who has honor almost. It doesn't make you that. It doesn't lead to good things. Leaving that lifestyle, it actually makes you weaker. It makes you more. It makes you uh resent the other guy. When you go through that, like, as we've seen with Fresh. So whichever way you look at it, living that lifestyle, it doesn't make you a better man, it makes you worse. And now we can see, I mean, and we can see the results of it, we can see the consequences of it. We're looking at Fresh right now, reacting to him, and we can see that's exactly what's happening with Fresh. He held resentment about that situation, and now when this guy is going through what he's going through now, he's basically attacking him and throwing him in under the bus. So that's actually kind of low of of Fresh to do, and he's someone who lives that lifestyle out. He's someone who does that consistently. He's someone who upholds that lifestyle. And we saw how he behaved with that Daisy woman, the one that he got pregnant. What instead of him assuming responsibility for what he did wrong, what did he do? He told her to go and get an abortion. So that, like, living that lifestyle doesn't yield to good things. So yeah, just wanted to add that to this reaction. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, a woman spoke out. A woman from Australia. She came out and she said a few things. So I want to get you guys' reaction on this one. Uh, and let's see. She had quite a lot to say. She had quite a lot to say. Quite a lot to say. Uh, let's see. Uh,
Guys, to all of you guys and on behalf of everyone in the so before I go further into this video, I'd just like to take this time to apologize to young Philly,
can you guys
to
hear it?
apologize to any
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear it fine.
yeah, I can hear
You
it.
can hear it fine, yeah? All right, good,
Yeah.
good, 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 good. Full screen.
of his friends, his family, anyone associated with young. So before I go further into this video, I'd just like to take this time to apologize to young Philly, to apologize to any of his friends, his family, anyone associated with him. And I would also like to apologize to any rappers in the UK who has seen this and has been affected and now feel some type of way about us females in Australia. I deeply apologize. We are not like that. There are certain individuals that like to take things too far and it gives the rest of us a bad name. I truly and sincerely apologize to all of you guys. And on behalf of everyone in Australia that has sense, we are sorry. So the media is concealing who this female is. So everyone's like, who is this mysterious female? This mysterious female is Miss Emma Burns, the one and only stripper and sex worker. Round of applause for Miss Emma Burns. Ya sharmuta. So, why am I so annoyed? It's because Emma Burns' friends have come out and they have exposed her. Emma went to the hotel with young Philly and they both had a mutual agreement. When you have a mutual agreement, babes, it's consensual. So there's no rape there. It is consensual. Yes, if they, take it a bit further and stuff, then okay, yeah, it is a bit too much and charges can be pressed. But it was a mutual agreement. Emma Burns had then texted her friends and said, one of her friends, sorry, and told her friend how much of a good time she really had and that she was ready to go home. Could her friend book her an Uber? Remember that. Her friend should book her the Uber, but she's a stripper. Please remember these two things, okay? Because we're going to be very logic here. Her friend should book her the Uber. When her friend was going to book her the Uber, she then told her friend, oh, actually, I don't need it anymore. That doesn't sound like someone who's being sexually assaulted, Emma. That sounds like someone who's having a goddamn good time. A goddamn good time. Because if you were being sexually assaulted, you are in a hotel where there are hundreds of people on the same level. You could scream. You could text a friend because it seems your phone was working really fine, Miss Mams. You could run down to reception and tell reception to call the police if your life was at any any danger or there was any threat of your safety. Those are three things you could have done. Screaming would have probably been the best one because I can guarantee you there would have been someone next door because we know how hotels in Australia is booked, packed, and busy. Okay. Emma, you are a sex worker. You are also a stripper. There is nothing wrong with that because if I could shake my ass and get a little coin, I will too. So I am not bashing you for that in any way, shape, or form, Emma. But it's pretty obvious your stripping career isn't taking you anywhere. The fact that you have to ask your friend to book you an Uber. Now, WA. I'm not from WA, but currently I am in Western Australia. Western Australia is not like other states in Australia. Example, Sydney. To get a 30-minute ride on an Uber could cost you about $80. In Western Australia, when I do book Ubers, somewhere that's 30 minutes away, it can cost me $15 to $20. An Uber is not that expensive. So clearly, sweetheart, your stripping career isn't going the way you thought it would go. So because it's not going that way, you now want to use young Philly for funds. And you knew what you were doing. But you're not going to get away lightly with this one. Emma Burns has also done this to another rapper before. Sorry, she has tried to do this to another rapper. I don't know if he's a rapper or a musician. Bryson Tyler. I don't really know who he is. But she has tried to do this to someone else before and it was unsuccessful. But now she thinks she has hit the jackpot with young Philly. So everyone going around the media talking about this young Philly, they need to stop. They need to stop because this guy is genuinely innocent. Her friends have come out and said what she did. She knew what she was doing. So I understand people are like, oh, don't victim shame, don't victim blame. As someone who has been through something like that myself as a child, I will never sit there and back the predator ever. But this generation, you guys take it too far with you have to believe the females because of that. That saying that you guys are putting out there that you have to believe the females are taking the piss and innocent men are being blamed for things that they genuinely have not done. Now, people are going to say, oh, but what about the assault charges? Let's be for real. Those assault charges came from him choking her. We are all grown on this app. Well, I hope we are all grown. Some females, including myself, and I'm sure some of you guys watching this, we get choked during sex. We get some other foul things during sex. We may not think it's foul. We find it attractive. Some other people are not necessarily into those things. Emma is clearly into that. But now it's become an issue. This is wrong. You guys need to stop enabling females who think it's okay to ruin people's lives. It is not okay. You knew the agreement when you were going into that hotel. You knew what you were there to do. You knew the man didn't want anything with you after. How is it possible that he would want anything after that? He is from the United Kingdom. He was here to perform and go back to his everyday life. But instead, you have ruined that for him. I'm not saying Young Philly is a broke person. I don't know what his funds are like. Now he's stuck in a country that's foreign to him till December. He has to pay for accommodation. He has to pay a lot of things. When you're a foreigner in a country, it can be expensive. He's out of pocket because of you. Now he has legal fees to pay for. That's not fair. And we should not be enabling females that do this. And these other TikTokers that are on live bashing this man, that's not right. That's not right. That is wrong. And you are foul. That is wrong. I'm not saying because she's a sex worker and she's a stripper that, oh, like, yeah, it can possibly happen. Of course it can happen. Just because someone's a sex worker and a stripper, it doesn't mean that they can't be assaulted. They, of course, can be like sexually assaulted. But when you consent to something and you and someone have agreed to it and you guys have done just as what you guys have agreed to, it is not sexual assault, Emma Burns. So this needs to stop. I don't know who Young Philly is. If you ask me, name one Philly song, I couldn't even tell you. I'll probably sing something else from the UK. I don't know Young Philly, but free Young Philly and Australia, you guys need to get it the fuck together.
She doesn't know Young Philly, but she seems to know a lot about this Emma Burns woman. She's speaking as if she knows her personally. That's the vibe that I got from her, and she seems to be pissed off about it. It's like she wants to tell us more, and she can't, and I get the vibe that she's speaking to Emma through the video. She's trying to pass a message over to Emma Burns, trying to tell her something. What do you guys think of this?
Go ahead, Mr. M. I'll let you go first.
Go for it. I'll jump in after.
Ooh, it's like a poker game. We're all hiding our cards. I'm kind of, I don't know who Emma Burns is. I don't know. I wasn't there in the room. I don't know Emma Burns. I don't know Young Philly. I don't know this girl. The only reason I'm commenting on this whole situation is because the internet has praised itself and given itself gold medals and it's like the virtue signaling Olympics. You know, the Olympics that just went. This is the virtue signaling Olympics, and so many men and women, well, not so much women, have come out and said, "Oh yes, of course he is. It's exactly like that. We're not surprised. Cancel him. Get rid of him. Destroy everything. Get him out of here. Evacuate him. Get him out of pretty much get him out of the country. Get him out of the planet. Pretty much. Put him on one of those Elon Musk rockets and send him out to space, basically." And I think to be so convinced and to be so certain of a man's guilt when he's just in the beginning of the court proceedings, because maybe he has an obnoxious, strangely arrogant personality, difficult to work with, giving them the opportunity to look like they have judged a sinner or judged a person who's done something wrong successfully, and their hands are clean in every way, shape, or form. It makes me sick. Generally, there's no good in it. And to see some people now, like her, coming out on the other side and saying, "Well, hold on, it's this woman has a lifestyle of that nature, and maybe has been accused people before or something like this." It's starting to balance things out, and I'm glad that things are becoming balanced out. ultimately, it doesn't change the fact of what happened, whether he's innocent or guilty. It doesn't. But the court of public opinion has been very swayed in one direction versus the other for quite 95% so far has made him guilty and associated him with the worst things and judged him in the worst way. So I'm glad that she's speaking up. I don't know, but I'm glad that she her hollow statements are on the opposite side of the other hollow statements of the people on YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. I think she's definitely thrown a spanner in the works. Now, obviously, you can look at it from a different perspective. It was one sided for since the news came out. It's been one sided, and she's given us a little bit more context. Whether or not anything she's saying could, whether or not it's actually been substantiated, whether or not do we actually know if this person is actually a fictional person or non-fictional. We don't know nothing about anything yet. I would still say wait for the facts to appear out in court. They've had they would have had until December, so that's enough time to gather all the evidence that they need. So I'm assuming, but if her story does match what the court's saying, then again it's something interesting to look at and be like, why would she be saying this? What motivated her to make this video? Is there any truth to anything that she's saying? But it's interesting that we've now for the first time got a different perspective and heard the other side, even if, like he said, they're as hollow as this side.
I would say first thing that we need to acknowledge is that we don't know everything. We don't know anything until until the court proceedings take place. We don't know anything. We will only know what actually truly happened once the court case gets going. Um, so starting from there, she could be telling the truth. She could be lying. We don't know. Um, what 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 I've noticed, and I think I've mentioned this earlier again, her attitude when it comes to this is, she's okay with the promiscuous lifestyle. Again, I'm seeing the same attitude that from the young guy that we reacted to earlier um in the video early in the stream. So it's the same attitude. She's like, I don't blame you for living this lifestyle, for doing what you're doing, and blah 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 blah. It's they all have the same attitude towards promiscuity, and the attitude is that it's okay to be promiscuous, to go out there, and it's like not knowing that this it is a promiscuous lifestyle that led young Philly into this situation in the first place. And that woman, if she is innocent, then yeah, it was because of Marissa's lifestyle that she found herself in that situation. So to me, it's like I can't really comment too much on whether I think young Philly is guilty or not because I don't know. Um, uh, has she brought up? Has she kind of like brought some new information? Because everyone was accusing young Philly in the beginning, blah blah blah. Yeah, she want to span in the works. Yes, but then again, we it's actually scary. It's very scary that everyone can just accuse him of, oh yes, he's definitely guilty, blah 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 blah. It's scary that we live in this type of society without, you're judging the guy, you're saying the guy definitely did it without even um the case going to court. It's like I find it very scary that we live in the society that we live in. We don't know anything, and yet we just want to judge the guy. I find that very scary. But the truth is, we don't know, so I can't really comment on something that I have no facts on just yet. So, but but what scares me again the most is the fact that she's okay with this her attitude. Of living a promiscuous lifestyle. She's okay with it. She's fine. She has no issues with it, knowing that that's the root of the problem. You know, people live in a promiscuous lifestyle. You know, that's what leads to these issues, to these problems. So that's what I've noticed in regards to this video. So that, I would say that would be my reaction.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a very good point. You're saying the moral boundary has been pushed, so now there's a new sense of morality. It isn't promiscuity is a bad thing. It's now accusing people of grape is a bad thing, but promiscuity is good. So the moral boundary has been shifted, you're saying?
yeah, it has been shifted. It really has. Instead of looking at the problem, we don't look at the problems anymore. It's almost like you know, you know, you create this culture, this promiscuous culture, and then you don't want to take responsibility for the consequences of this promiscuous culture. So instead, what we do as a society, we're like, oh, well, um, and I'm not saying we shouldn't condemn people that do wrong. Yes, we should condemn people that do wrong. But my issue is that the condemnation is not even warranted because we haven't gone through the court case. You know, it's like everyone just it's like I think this is what we were talking about the other day. You know, the self-righteous attitude. You know, you don't know what the ins and outs, you don't know what the facts are, but everyone has already pointed the finger at him, has already accused him, has already made him to look like the rapist because we all know, regardless of the outcome, regardless if he's innocent, his life is destroyed. Okay, I'm not even talking about him being dropped by. I'm just talking about the public. You know how the public will perceive him. You know, I'm not. Forget the sponsors and all of that's separate. Like how the public will perceive him, he will always be that guy that may or may have not raped that woman. So I mean, his life is completely destroyed. But we're so quick to point the finger instead of looking back and saying, "Oh my days, maybe we shouldn't be having this promiscuous culture. Maybe this promiscuous culture is what led to all of this, to led to these problems." But the fact that we are not even like, okay, all right, fine, we have a promiscuous culture, but let's not condemn him just yet. Let's wait until the facts. We don't even have the patience for that. We don't even want to wait for that. We just want to, yes, he is guilty. We just want to, it's like we want to scratch an itch and have someone to condemn, have someone to hang, have someone to blame. And that's what I see. That's what I see. That's what everyone is trying to do, trying to have someone to blame. And I'm just wondering where that comes from. Why so quick to blame someone when you don't even have all the facts? I mean, forget the fact that you just ignore the promiscuous culture that we currently have that's causing all these problems. Forget all that, put that to one side. You just want someone to hang, someone to condemn. I find that crazy.
Yeah, can I add to
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
said?
bro. Come on, man. We're talking. Come on, bro. Talk.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, gossip is big business. It's big business. It's an industry in and of itself. We used to laugh at, I guess, in my earlier generation of the gossip magazines, where people would just whisper, like the Mirror or whatever gossip newspapers, they were just accusing people of absolute madness, and that's how papers were sold. Now it's about clicks and views and retweets and and things like this. The gossip columns haven't disappeared; they just went online, and they went to the masses. The masses are now the gossip editors and content creators of gossip. It's a case we don't need EastEnders or what, I don't know these gossip columnists, but we are the producers of this. What was initially people would be paid to journalists would be paid to write, right? Um, this is a byproduct of social media. They say social media, you're the product. That's why it's free. That's why Twitter's free. That's why YouTube is free, because you're the product. You're the one that produces the content and does the work and gets paid, through ad revenue. So the fact that I think, yeah, ultimately this is a byproduct of social media. We don't need to be fed the lies anymore. We should produce them ourselves. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
when people say it's a byproduct of social media, I don't think it's a byproduct of social media. I think it's a byproduct of sinful behavior. Because I look, I've got a choice. I know I have access to social media. It's my choice what I post, right? I can either post a general thing. It's my choice what I comment, what I write, what I post. So it's my choice, isn't it? It's not. No one's forcing me. No one has a gun to my head. No one is forcing anyone to post what they post. So it's people really choosing. So a lot of people like to kind of look at social media and say, "It's social media to blame." No, it's the people that are posting. That's the all poster. All social media really does. It just exposes the reality. It just exposes the human condition, the moral human condition of today. So when we are mad at social media, we're really mad at ourselves. That's just the fact. We're really mad at ourselves. What's that? We're
Yeah,
really mad.
true. What I said was true, but yeah, you made a good point.
Yeah, yeah. We're really mad at ourselves. That's really what the case. But it's easier to blame this, to point the finger at social media. So it's almost like, yeah, we don't want to feel like we don't want to feel we don't want to take responsibility for what we do wrong. So we're just going to talk about this entity, social media, as if social media has a brain of its own. No, it doesn't. So it's really us doing all this
Yeah,
stuff.
but the devil gives work to idle thumbs, as they say. And if you don't get the work, he is not much. If you're busy with, if you don't, if your social media was more censored and controlled, I think it'd be a better thing. That's my opinion. I think there's even Donald Trump. He made a new policy now. He said he's gonna ban violent video games. That's a new policy that he has in place. I think some responsibility, a lot of responsibility should be to the public, but facilitating evil adds, it's a catalyst. Yeah, that's my opinion anyway. But yeah,
just
go on.
just what you're saying shows the problem with us. The fact, even us trying to control it, or put things in place to stop people from posting certain things and all of that. Again, it's a testament to the fact that we can be degenerate. So we can we can be morally degenerate and post bad things. So again, it's a testament to the fact that it's our fault to begin with. Whether you don't control it or you control it, eventually it all shows that, what I'm saying, we can human beings have the choice to either be degenerate or not degenerate, and exposes the fact that it's our fault. That's my opinion on that.
That's true. That's the truth.
So again, human beings, man. Yeah, Mr. M, sorry, bro. You want to add something? Just feel free to jump in
No,
whenever
no,
you want.
I'll jump in. Yeah, I'll definitely jump in when it's time.
Yeah. Um. Let's move on. With two more videos to react to. But yeah, to me, I just find it crazy that not once does it cross her mind like, oh, maybe this promiscuous coach is a bad thing. That's not even the issue for her. The issue is, oh, this woman has behaved in a bad way. Oh, I'm sorry, this woman is known for this. This woman is known for
Do,
that.
do you,
Um,
can I just jump in here? This is the part I just want to understand. Do you do you have an expectation that you know that people should be less promiscuous, or do you have an expectation that people are more promiscuous? Because me personally, I don't hold that. I don't hold the level of promiscuity to the person um, based on who they are. I base it on what their belief is. If they've got religion as a moral compass, then and they're still promiscuous, then that's just on them. There are religious people that are promiscuous. There are religious people that are devout. But being promiscuous, I think that can be anyone really. It depends on whether or not they choose to expose that promiscuity, or if they try to keep that under wraps.
Oh, I see. I look more at excuse me, I look more at the consequences of promiscuity. The fact that I don't think you disagree that we live in a culture that promotes it, that tells young men to go out there and sleep around, basically. Tells young women it's okay to, sleep around. Would you deny that we live in that type of culture? That
Oh,
kind of
we
that,
definitely do. We definitely do.
we
A
definitely.
culture that promotes that. 100%, I agree with you on that.
Thank
Um,
you. And that's where I look at. And what a lot of people don't, it's like what a lot of people are not seeing is everything you do has consequences. Everything you do, so you have to look at, okay, we live in a culture that promotes this. Has the consequences been good or bad? And when you look at the consequences, I mean, you got what, 73 million abortions per year worldwide. When you look at the consequences, marriage decline in the West. When you look at the consequences, single parent households on the rise. When you look at the consequences, children growing up without a strong family unit. When you look at the consequences, it's not good. It's not good. Kids being
oh,
sexualized.
definitely, definitely,
So,
definitely. I 100% agree with you. But I believe promiscuity plays a part. But I don't know how big a part it plays. If we look at the grand scheme of things, if it even plays a 10% part, I have no idea. I couldn't put a number on it. But what I can say for sure, it plays a part. It's a factor, amongst many other factors that lead to everything else that you've just mentioned. The decline in marriage, abortions. There's so many reasons. Promiscuity is definitely a major one,
what would
even
you say? What
possibly.
would you say? What would you say one of the biggest reasons are? You said 10% for promiscuity. What would you say the biggest one is?
I genuinely believe it's a big part of it is upbringing and moral compass.
That's right. Um, yes.
The building blocks, the foundation. Where did it all start? And obviously, the statistics between two-parent household, one-parent households. You know, these are things that we can't ignore. We definitely have to bear that in mind as well. So when you look at the grand scheme of things, promiscuity, yes, definitely plays a part, but how big a part does it play in the
Yeah,
grand scheme
exactly.
of things?
That's what I'm gonna say. I think it plays a huge part. I think I'll put it as I mean, I'll go as far as saying 70%. And the reason why I would say this is because you just have to look at history. You just have to look at the history of feminism. In the 1960s, you had what? You had the creation of the pill, and then you had the legalization of abortion. And then right after that, what came right after that? The sexual revolution. Okay, go out and be promiscuous. And soon after that, a couple of years after that, you had what the Lyndon B. Johnson creating this social housing, where if a woman gets pregnant, guess what? You get housed by the government. So, but in order for any of that to happen, before the pill was invented, what do you see? You don't see people being promiscuous. Look, why? Because there is no pill for you to just, it's the pill that allows promiscuity. Allows people to go out there and just have sex and live this promiscuous lifestyle. If you remove the pill and you remove abortions and you remove social housing, women would have to think twice before they did anything. Because guess what? There isn't things in place that can protect them. So right now today, if a woman goes out there and sleeps around and she gets pregnant, she will get housing, she'll get government support, she'll get government funding, she'll get all of that type of stuff. Before the pill was invented, none of those things were in place. A woman had to think twice before even engaging in that type of behavior. Because if she did engage in that type of behavior, I mean, apart from the fact that you bring shame to your family, there would be no one there to kind of support you and take you on and blah 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 blah. So a woman had to think seriously about that. How is she going to take care of that child and work at the same time without government funding? So they had to enable these things. They enabled it by creating the pill and by creating by legalizing abortion, and then after that they encouraged it by saying, "Oh, okay, the hip, the 60s, the 60s, you had the hippies, I think 60s or 70s, you had the sexual revolution where people, where they basically told everyone it's okay to go and have sex. Because why did they do that? Because now they have the pill in place and now they have abortion laws in place. Whereas before that, you couldn't do any of that. And I think this is where we get all the other problems came from there after that. And I think the whole thing was done on purpose in order to attack the family unit, the nuclear family, to destroy the nuclear family. I think that's why they did it. And now we can see. So look at statistics. Marriages are declining. The West is not reproducing enough to replace itself. Why? Because everyone is more concerned about fulfilling their hedonistic inclinations than actually having a family. And this is where I think all the problems basically the majority of the problems are coming from that. And then we saw again in the 1970s, we see LGBTQ being legalized. We see, and then after that, the same-sex marriages and all of that type of stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that's what led to. Sorry to go on a bit of a rant. So I would put it as 70%, bro.
I understand where you're coming from, but you've definitely looked into this, and I respect um your view on this, but there are definitely more factors to consider um in the grand scheme of things. But when we're looking at this particular situation, what I think is more important to look at is if he's now found not guilty for this particular crime, um, should he be back? Should he be allowed back in society? Should all his brand deals, apologize to him and return as normal? Or is the cancellation so strong now that he's never gonna come back? That's what I'm, wondering. Not only for Philly, but in the future as well, for anyone else that gets into this sort of situation. Is there any protection for these powerful individuals that are accused and then all of a sudden they lose all this money? Another example could be, for example, a footballer, Mendy. Are you familiar
Mm,
with Mendy? His all of his charges were dropped. He was found not guilty for that, but then he can't seem to find a club. Is that fair? Is that fair on him? And should these individuals get protected, or is it a case of they made so much money anyway, it doesn't matter? They're celebrities. They put themselves in this situation. I think that's what we need to, that's the bigger, what we need to be looking at,
I would
or
ask you.
even
I would ask you a question. I would ask you this
thinking about
question.
that. Yeah, go for it.
I would say to you. I would ask you, what do you think the right thing would be? Remember what you just told me, right? You just told me,
In terms
like,
of what? Sorry, the the uh,
yeah.
uh the cancellation and stuff.
Yeah, let's say he gets found not guilty. Should he get his deals back? His sponsor should apologize to him, and society, kind of be reinstated back in society, like
In a
like it
in a
never happened.
in
What,
a
what do you
perfect
what?
in a perfect world, yeah.
But, what-
In a per-
but what do
in a perfect world, everything continues as it was before he was charged. But unfortunately, we
but
don't
wouldn't
live in
that
a
be the right
perfect
thing?
world.
But wouldn't that be the right thing?
It would be, but unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world. So, for me personally, I think if I had the power to do so, you know, things should definitely be put on pause. Brand deals and everything should be put on pause. Any future plans he had, his diary should just be cleared until we get this, sorted. Once the truth is out, once the evidence is all out, once the court proceedings have begun and ended, then we can make a decision whether or not or on what we're doing moving forward. But until then, nothing should be done. But that's not a perfect world. Obviously, we live in a social media powered world, and that's just a dream.
Yeah, you see, I agree with you. Sorry, Hassan, you want to come in on this one as well. I agree with you 100%. That that's what should happen. If he's found not guilty, he should be reinstated back to society, and it should be allowed to have what he had before it was taken away from him. Um, that is the right thing to do, because guess what? He's not guilty. He didn't commit the crime. So that just like we can put him away, just like we can accuse him of something and then drag his name on social media, and have him come inside the police station signing I don't know how many times a week. Just like we can do all of that to him and judge him harshly, just for being accused of something, and we don't even know if he's guilty of it or not. Just like we can do that to him, we should be able to also be able to, if found innocent, we should be able to reinstate his life as it was. That would be the right thing, because remember, no one is talking. No, not one person has said, "Hold on, this woman could be lying." Oh, this woman could, apart from this woman that tried to change the narrative, this Australian woman that tried to change the narrative. No one, everyone is pretty much on her side and against Philly. So just like we can do that, and not judge her, we should be able to also reinstate his life back together. We should be able to say, you know what, he was found, he's not guilty. Come on, it's not fair on him. That would be the right thing to do.
But
Um,
that's a perfect world. We don't live in that. We need to be realistic. Um, the only example that I can see now, because if you guys have another example, please help me. The only example, real life example that I can see of someone who's been accused in a powerful position was Greenwood. Once the charges were dropped, I don't know if the charges were dropped actually. I'm not sure. I think the charges were dropped. However, he did have to pay the price. The price he paid was, although he can go back to his original job, which was football, he wasn't allowed back to his original club that he was at when he was accused. He had to go to Marseille, if I'm not mistaken, and that's in the French league. So that was the penalty he paid. How could Philly make such a transition? Would that mean now Philly, okay, the charges have been dropped, but you can't now be a YouTuber in UK and be an artist. You now have to move to the suburbs of Philadelphia, and make a name for yourself over there, because we've given up on you.
Hassan, what do you reckon? What's your reaction?
I was just away for a minute. I missed quite a bit.
What
I
what
heard.
what do you reckon of what Mr. M is saying?
Oh, Mr. M. I think in terms of his career, it's over. It's done. It's as there's hiring, I guess, or wherever. His career as an entertainer or a YouTube personality or whatever is completely finished. And because it's very difficult to brand or to market a person being accused of such a thing. That example you gave of a footballer is a footballer. There's some quantifiable quality that he has where it is that he scores goals. How much can you focus on the bucket challenge or whatever they do on Beta Squad when the guy's accused of he went to court for whatever? You're gonna be distracted by that. I don't care about these. I don't know whatever they do on Beta Squad or whatever these YouTube channels. To the point where you'll allow yourself to be a viewer, to be what's the word, focused on whatever piece of entertainment they're presenting, or a cooking show or something like this, right? Whenever he goes near a woman, you'll think, oh, wait a minute, is something going to happen here? Who knows, That's the suspicion that's going to have. His brand is completely ruined. A good proportion of that is YouTube. A lot of content creators on YouTube have added to that, burying his career. He seems like he has more enemies than he has friends, and that's probably on his own doing. Secondly, yesterday we were talking on this podcast about Obama and how he was a bit condescending to the black community, black men specifically, and how they should vote for Kamala. If they don't, they're essentially misogynist. And it was my conclusion that that message wasn't for the black community as a whole. It was specifically for women, black women and women overall, and male feminists to a certain degree. When it comes to marketing someone, it's important to know who has the influence. And I think when it comes to media, a lot of female influence is there, as well as voting. So if he's lost the female vote, or if he's lost the female, audience, not to say that a lot of Beta Squad is female oriented, but I'm sure the executives and the people who the showrunners and things like this are most likely women or male inclining towards feminists, feminists inclining towards males, should I say? So I can't see them forgiving him for anything. I can't see them saying, you know what, no problem, you're accused of this, and now you can have your show back now. If it was the other way around, if he was not to play gender politics, but I think if he was a woman and he was accused of physically assaulting a man or something along those lines, I would see her career coming back a lot more easily. But because he's a man in a female-led industry, I can't see him being forgiven in any way. Even if he's found innocent, it's going to be a case of, well, you're innocent in the court, but you're not innocent in terms of our suspicion or our judgment of you or our smear campaign or whatever. So we're not gonna associate with you. So I think it's done for him.
I think. Yeah, go ahead.
The only other example, apart from a footballer, because you're actually right, a footballer does bring more to the table than a YouTuber does. A YouTuber can be easily replaced. The only other example is Logan Paul when he had his scandal, and he made a comeback. That could possibly happen for young Philly if he's found not guilty.
What was his scandal?
The scandal was, but then that's the thing though. I'm not going to now compare the two.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say they were both scandals.
Yeah.
We can say they're both scandalous, and in their own right. So his situation was, he basically, I think he went to China or Japan.
Oh yes.
And there's a forest of people that
Self-delete.
they delete.
Someone
Yeah,
themselves. Someone
they delete
deleted
themselves. Yeah, so they delete themselves there, and he recorded and made some sort of funny video about it. So, and he was cancelled for that. He made an incredible comeback. He worked really hard. He did what he needed to do, and now he's back on top. Philly could possibly do that, but at the same time, they're not the same sort of scandals. You know, they're two different scandals. They're two totally different scandals. And I'm asking you guys: do you remember anyone who's ever come back from a scandal like this and made a comeback? I can't remember, honestly. These are the only examples I can think of. Is the Logan Paul one and the Greenwood one.
I can think of many where there were inappropriate tweets or text messages, and the guy lost his business and lost his everything. This is the guy from the film called The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Arnie Hammer. I'll put him on the screen if I can. You have Kevin Spacey, who lost his career because he was, acting inappropriately with other men, whatever. I can't think of any man who was involved in that, who in anything sexual, that kept his career. I can't think of one. There should be one, but I can't think of one.
Yeah, I can't think of one either. Any man, guilty or not guilty, and made a comeback. I can't think of anyone. And let's be specific here. We are specifically talking about what Young Philly has been accused of. We're talking about Grape. So I can't think of any man, guilty or not guilty, of having made a comeback. But one thing that Mr. M asked, which was that in a perfect world this would happen. um he should be allowed, if he's not guilty, if he's not guilty, he should be allowed to come back to society and be reinstated, and all of his sponsors should be able to apologize. They should apologize to him, and reinstate him back to the thing. I think I think we need to fight for that world. because at the if he is not guilty, he has every right. If he has been falsely accused, which can happen, which we live in a not perfect world. People can accuse us of things that we didn't do, for whatever reason, um, just to be malicious. So we should be able to fight. We should start putting things. Men should be able to start, like, I don't know, suing, or putting laws in place that say if a man is not found guilty of such and such a crime that he's been accused of, sponsors should be able to take him back. He should go back to. He should be allowed to go back to his normal life instead of having his entire life destroyed. And yet he's not guilty of anything. Now, if he is guilty, yes, he deserves everything that comes to him. And I'm all for that. Time in prison and so on and so forth, and for society to be wary of you. Absolutely, I agree with you. I agree with that 100%. But if he's not guilty, we should have laws in place that protect the person that's not guilty. And we should fight for that world, because guess what? If we don't fight for that world, imagine what the consequences will be for all those that get accused of this nonsense. Um, uh, 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 it's not a good look for the future. So we as men, and I would say women too, they should be we should be fighting to get the government to
It's,
pass some
it's,
laws.
it, you know why I say it's a
I just,
perfect world?
I just, I just thought of one, by the way, but carry on.
What I say is a perfect world is because in order to do that, there's gonna have to be a lack of transparency. Like, for example, a way in which they could possibly do that is, let's say now, you know, young Philly, he's in a hotel room, he's been accused of X, Y, and Z. We now deal with this behind the media. We don't let no media person understand what's happening. We keep it closed, we keep it under wraps. We let this person know that they should not talk about anything as well. That way they can then keep their brand deals and they can keep all of their things. But then the brand deals would argue there should be transparency. We should be able to know if our clients are in any hot water, or if they're in any sort of situation. We should be the first people to know, because obviously we're investing a lot of money into these people. So the only way that it could possibly work is if governments and police didn't work with brand deals, or didn't let media know about these sort of situations. And that's the only way you could possibly um, um, do these things in the future, because at least then you could deal with the case behind closed doors, get it all done, get all the evidence, wrap up everything, get everything you need to know. Keep this guy away from the media. Keep him, like, let people just, see where's he been, or why hasn't he uploaded a video. Maybe he's taken a social media break or whatever. Let's just assume whatever we're assuming, but let them deal with everything behind closed doors. And then once everything's out, then you can report on everything. But again, like I said, that's a perfect world. I don't think they'll go through that much effort. And people love mess. Mess
I think,
sells.
bro, I think there's a case to be made here, for innocent people or people that have been falsely accused of getting their life back together. I think if the government was to pass laws, that protects people that have been falsely accused, I think all this mess would be sorted out. You know, uh, imagine you're being false. If you've been falsely accused and you're innocent, you shouldn't. Your life shouldn't be destroyed as a result. And I think there's a case here to, for people to put pressure on the government and say, look, listen, we think this is, pass some laws that protect the innocent, because at the end of the day, what we are talking about is protecting the innocent. And also, shouts to, we got 37 of you guys watching. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, don't forget to subscribe, guys. But shouts to everyone watching the channel right now. But yeah, I just don't think it's right for, and I don't think we really need a perfect world. I think all it takes is just some laws being passed and say, look, nah, it's not right that he's falsely accused and he gets his entire life destroyed. Now that's not right. You know, just have something that protects people, protects innocent people. That's it. I'm not talking about protecting the guilty. The guilty they deserve everything they get. But protect the innocent by all means. I think there's come on, man. We should be the government should be able to do
You-
something about
Something, you know, something I just thought about right now. If let's say, for example, now, just a case, you know, scenario. If now Philly was falsely accused, like let's say, for example, this encounter did actually happen, but then it didn't. It wasn't Young Philly that did it; it was somebody else. But Young Philly was ID'd in an ID parade, for example. How quickly would the truth come out so that, you know, he wouldn't be detained for this long? You know, is there enough evidence to keep him detained for this long? Is there enough evidence um against him, shining towards him, that they now have the power to now keep him all the way until December to build a case? What is actually what's your thoughts on what they actually have at this current time, to actually hold him like this? Because I don't know how the, you know, the Australian government works, or their justice system works, but what are your
that.
thoughts on what they?
They might believe that they have something. I mean, it's always a situation. I mean, this is why you hire a lawyer to defend you, because they might think they have something. They might think that the evidence is substantial. In order to hold him for that long and so on and so forth. So they're definitely making it look like as if what they have on him is concrete, and he definitely did do something, whatever. But then again, you don't know what the outcome will be. We don't know whether what they have is good evidence or not until the lawyer representing Young Philly. We don't know what defense Young Philly's lawyer has. Say how he's able to defend Young Philly against what they claim to have. Because they might think, okay, yeah, we have enough evidence, but it might turn out that they don't have enough evidence. And the evidence that they have is bogus. It's not, it's not conclusive enough. That might turn out to be the case, but we won't know any of that until this goes to court, and until the prosecution meets the defense. So we won't know. You know what I mean? So I think they have something, or they have enough, but I don't. There's no telling what the outcome will be until the defense lawyer basically confronts what they have. So we don't know. We don't know. But guys, I wanted to quickly go for because we only got two more to react to. I
I wanted
wanted
to
to.
add one more
Yeah,
thing.
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So while you guys were speaking, I was just looking at famous men who've had a scandal. Most of them were either accused of cheating on their partners, not necessarily committing a crime, and the ones that were accused of committing a crime were found innocent. But their scandal, from what I've seen, never went away. So I'm talking about people like Bill Clinton, people like Hugh Grant, David Letterman, Kobe Bryant, people like this. And when you look at women, on the other hand, who've been accused of cheating on their partners, these are names I've never heard of before. Or there are names I've heard of before, but their scandal isn't so famous. So, for example, Madonna, Elizabeth Hurley, I never knew this, Meg Ryan, Tori Spelling, Kendra Wilkinson, I don't even know what that is, Eva Longoria, Sienna Miller, Wendy Williams, whoever, right? Jada Pinkett Smith, who cheated on her husband, but apparently that wasn't a big issue. It was just her in an entanglement of something like this. So, so the point I'm making is, you cheat on your partner as a man, you're guilty forever in the media's eyes. You're a woman, you cheat on your husband, well, you are unhappy. You as a man are accused of a crime, you're a criminal. And it's the gynocentric inclination or leaning of the media, because obviously a lot of the executives, a lot of the producers, a lot of the most influential people in the industry are women. You can see that in a lot of movie studios and in the casting process. So when it comes to him getting his career back, it's buried. Even if he's found innocent, it's buried. That's not to say there aren't men who don't. There are men who do commit crimes within, as you can see with the Bill Cosby, a variety of other celebrities who, from what I can tell, are found guilty. But it's a case of the issues within in all these industries, the media and such, aren't resolved appropriately. So the court of public opinion has, unfortunately, because of corporate interests and people within in any industry that just kind of corrupt and do as they wish, not doing what they should be doing, the court it is leaning towards a court of public opinion where people are losing their careers because of an accusation, because somebody else did something repeatedly, apparently like Harvey Weinstein, and weren't called out appropriately at the time because people are fortunately too worried about their careers and such. So it's all bad. It's all dirty business. But yeah.
All right.
All the time in the world, I'm listening to you. I'm here. We are here. Take your time. You say what you want to say. You don't want to say. It's absolutely fine. We are here. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm just getting. People are saying to get to the point, so I'm just gonna get to the point.
No. Listen to me. Don't worry about these rascal people. You understand? Because I'll lock off comments. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. And to be honest, they're not liking up the live like they're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll shut this shit off. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I want you to be comfortable in telling this story because we absolutely need to get to the bottom of this shit. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting on here for fucking 3 hours to, you know what I'm saying, be rushed. Absolutely the fuck not. So, Cheyenne, take your time. She wanted to go back to yours to get ready for a night with Philly, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Go.
Yeah. So the club was literally in town. I lived in town. So me and this other girl, we were in the club where Philly was. And as soon as she left, my friend that was going to get ready to go see him, as soon as she left, Philly started like whining on some other girl. Even though all that night, like he was like, you know, telling my friend like, oh, you know, come back with me.
Wait, but were they together or not?
They weren't together. Like they just used to see each other. So every time they go to a club together, they see each other on the same night. They'd always leave together, like always, yeah. So anyways, so that happened, and as soon as I messaged her, I told her like, look, he's literally whining on some other girl. She comes back within like 5-10 minutes because I didn't live too far, and next minute he's messaging her saying, oh, come to the car, I'm leaving. And he's literally messaging her like abuse, like saying like, I'm leaving you, I don't care, like, you know. And so I've got a video of this, by the way. So we go to the back of the club, me and my friend, and then the girl that's going back with Philly, like she gets in his car and he's literally shouting at her saying like, no, get out, I don't want you here anymore, like you're taking your time, whatever. So anyways, later that night, it was around like 3 a.m, she goes to his hotel, she rings me and she's like whispering, she's saying like, oh, like Siren, can you come like get an Uber from me, like whatever. And I was like, are you okay? And she said, no, like, you know, I need to go. And she's like, actually, no, wait, 1 minute. Anyways, so later that morning, she told me what actually happened. So she wanted to leave around 3 a.m. when she called me. But then he apparently, she said, oh, you're either staying and take your clothes off or you're leaving. So she stayed because they had history and she just felt like, you know, he had all this power. Like she felt so gullible in the moment. And when she told me that story, like 8 a.m, like she came literally to my place, makeup on, everything, like from the night before. She all
right, can I just stop you there because this is a lot to digest?
Yeah.
They're really attacking his character, isn't it? They're trying to assassinate his character. They're working hard to assassinate his character. How does this make him a gravest? I don't know. But I'm seeing that, of course, they're telling these stories to paint this, you know, this fake, you know, that he might be the guy that everyone thinks he is right now. But that's what I'm thinking. They're just, you know, telling any story, trying to make it look like, yes, he could be a great, yes, he could have done it. He could have done it. Ah, people, bro, people. What's your reaction to this?
She, I don't know who this person is. She sounds British. Does that mean her friend is British? Does that mean she's I don't know, somebody that lives out there? I don't know. And I don't know if there's any truth to this. But it will be interesting, once the truth does come out, if we can corroborate these stories, and find out later that this is actually true. They are friends, and these things actually did happen. But again, it just sounds wishy-washy. It just doesn't sound like, who are these people? Like, I genuinely don't know, honestly. So no comment from me, honestly.
They definitely British. That's for sure. They're definitely British, and it looks like they telling a story about young Philly. But what worries me more is the fact that they, they are trying to run with the narrative that he is the greatest, that he is capable of doing these things, and even though they don't know the facts, even though because the court case hasn't happened yet, even though they don't know anything, they're clinging to a story that's being told about him, and they're clinging to the story so much because they want him to be guilty of it. And I mean, what does that say about human beings in the West? What does that say about um, you know people in the West, that you're willing to take any story to to paint the narrative that he is a rapist, yet you don't even know all the facts? I find that that's scary. That's scary. That's uh, yeah. Go ahead, Hassan. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's scary. Scary is the word. It's what's the word? The vitriol, I guess is the expression.
Yeah,
They are feasting on his flesh like there's no tomorrow. This is reminds me of that TV show, The Walking Dead. They're just eating him alive, and I guess he gives them what they refer to as the ick, and I think what they're doing is they're getting back at him through every man that may have taken advantage of him in some way or another, and the male feminists are getting back at him for every girl that they pursued that went with another man, I guess. So that's how I see what's going on online. Women who want their pound of flesh from this man for being accused of something, and men that want their pound of flesh because they either want to look good in front of women, or in Fresh's case, they took his girl or something. It's an epic. It's a pathetic thing to see, but this is human nature, I guess. And this is me going back to my whole thing. You can have a crowd full of evil people, but if you don't give them the tools, there's only so much damage they can do. And this social media thing, it's made everybody an editor. I mean, these pointless conversations would have happened in the HR room or the staff room or at the local bingo or whatever. But now it's an international thing. It's from coast to coast, from cities, people in America, people in the UK, people in Australia, everyone. So, oh yeah. He's evil. He's did it. Wow. I mean, it's crazy times we're living in.
I know. And for the last reaction, guys, because I don't want to go on for too long, but the last one is a Fresh and Fit again. These guys, man. I swear, these guys. Um, this should be interesting. All right. Yeah, this is the one. Okay.
And we'll kind of just react to it. So let's play his video first before we read my tweet. Let's play his video.
Is
Yep.
it good? Okay.
Yep. It's short.
Yes, my peoples, like everyone, I've heard the reports coming out of Australia. Whilst I understand many of you want my reaction on it, as this is an ongoing court case, I hope you guys can understand that I can't and won't be commenting on it publicly. So yeah, I've just come on here to basically let you know the reasons as to why I can't. Love. Yes, my peoples.
Bro, with friends like that, who needs fucking enemies, bro?
Yeah.
Yo. When I saw that shit, here, let me give you guys, I'll read you guys my tweet, what I said. So, I tweet, if we could pull it up real quick, Bills, please. I say straight pussy behavior. This guy's your friend, podcast host, and business partner. If my friend / business partner got accused of a heinous crime, I'd have his back 100%. This is especially pussy because there's info coming out showing the accuser has a pattern of doing this and is lying. Why the fuck have I said more on Young Philly's behalf than his own business partners? These big influencers are straight cowards. Money and sponsorships over loyalty. So I find it amazing how this guy Chunks, the Sidemen, all these people that he's done business with, none of them have come to his aid at all. And here's the thing, look, you don't want to say nothing publicly? At least like share the video of people saying that this girl isn't a credible witness. Like put that out in the air. You guys have huge influences. You guys have huge platforms. Like put out something to help your boy out. Like, hey guys, thought you might want to see this, right? If you're too bitch enough to say anything positive about your friend being accused, at least put this video out so that people can maybe get another perspective, because they're dragging this Young Philly guy right now everywhere. He's losing deals. He's losing money. Everyone is calling him a rapist. People are tarnishing his name. And bro, nigga, this is your business partner. This is your friend. This is a guy that you know. When he takes an L, you're going to take an L too to some degree. So now here's the thing. It's one of two things is what I think is going on here. It's either A, they know how he moves, and they know that he's, you know, a very questionable individual when it comes to ladies, and they don't want to say no because they know that he's guilty, which makes them guilty by even associating with like a scumbag like that. Or B, they think he's innocent or they're not sure, but they're scared of losing brand deals and losing money, right? Both are terrible. Both are absolutely terrible. But I find it interesting how there's information coming out that this woman could be lying. She tried it before. She's a sex worker. She's not credible, etc. And none of them put this stuff out anywhere. And instead he's saying, oh yeah, I can't comment on it because it's a criminal matter. Bro, nigga, you're not the one being accused.
Yeah.
Don't use that fucking excuse.
I remember when my situation happened. I can't really talk that much because obviously I was going through the legal process as well. But you saw what's happening in real time. You know the full story. And you know what? Fuck that shit. I'll make a statement through video and defend my boy.
Yep. I had to fight you to do it.
Yeah.
You didn't want me to do it. I was like, no, I'm going to fucking cook this bitch. He didn't want me to say anything. He was like, nah, man, whatever. Just leave it as is. I was like, no, fuck that.
And she got exposed for lying. But in this case, like I said before, what's out there about Philly behind closed doors is not the best material for his character. But Shorty could be lying in any case, and it could be innocent in this case.
Yeah.
Which means, even though his character is bad, doesn't mean that happened this time in Australia.
Boom. Yeah.
However,
true.
His response, yo, that's crazy, dog. Because now, if I didn't know something like, what does nigga say? He's cooked in his head? His response is like, yo, hey, bro, I can't say shit. Is what it is. That's basically what he said in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh yeah, this nigga's cooked. Because remember, all the sponsorship dropped him the same day. Like,
yeah.
So,
so for him, he don't want to lose the money.
No matter what happens, bro, he's cooked. Even if it's not true, they dropped him on all the sponsorships. So now it's like, okay, what's the next step? Do I defend him and try to save face? How can I save face? Because if I do, he's fucked no matter what. I don't want to be fucked too. And if I know his behavior, nigga, he's cooked, regardless.
Yeah,
so listen, I don't get why he's doing this, because he could just post a video like you said. Post a video of that girl talking, help save face. But he just said, you know what? Fuck it. Hey, it is what it is. Legal proceedings. I can't say shit.
Which is a lie. He could say something. Nigga, you're in the UK. Your boy's on the other side of the world in another fucking foreign courtroom dealing with this shit.
So now imagine the average viewer watching his response like, oh, this nigga.
Yeah, that response is bad. Yeah,
bro,
that response, if anything, hurts him more.
If I'm a viewer,
nigga, you shouldn't have said shit.
Exactly. I'd rather you say nothing, because now what's happening is he's saying shit. Oh, he is definitely guilty. Hello.
I mean,
yo, is Chunks not being loyal to Young Philly?
I have to agree with everything that they're saying. I was saying this the other day as well. When I saw that video initially, I was like, why did, and I'm a big fan of Chunks, but why did Chunks have to even speak on this? He was better off not saying anything at all. And if he was going to speak on it, don't sound so PR trained. Don't sound so robotic. Don't sound so scripted. Just be yourself and just, say what you actually believe or what you actually want to say. Um, or don't say anything at all. He should genuinely what he said and the way he said it makes it look worse for his friend Philly, and it makes him look selfish. Just makes him look like he's trying to protect his own image. Um, and I don't believe Chunks is a selfish person. I don't believe Chunks is a greedy person. I don't believe Chunks is someone who's driven by brand deals and things like that. So why he did that, I'm so confused. I genuinely don't know why he would do something like that and who would tell him to do something like that as well.
What would
I'm
you say?
confused.
What would you say? What do you think you should have done if you were Chunks right now? If you're in Chunks' shoes right now, what would you have done?
It all depends on what's motivating me to speak. Am I motivated by the fact that, wow, my friend's being cooked online, let me try and help him by saying something that protects him, or saying something that even supports him, or saying something that tells everyone, hey guys, let the court do what it needs to do, that, then I can understand where he's coming from. What he said, I genuinely don't know what's the catalyst, what was the motivation, why did you do this, who told you
No,
to
no.
do this?
I'm asking. I'm asking. Like, just put yourself. Imagine your Chunks right now. This has happened to Philly. Because
It
when I
would
say Philly, I think I see.
it would depend on what I'm motivated by. So let's say, for example, I'm motivated by brand deals and I genuinely care about money and I don't want to lose money. I would do what Chunks did. But if I don't care about money and I care about integrity and I care about loyalty and I care about my friend and I don't care what it costs me, then I'm saying, hey guys, don't say
Well, what do you
anything
think? What
about.
do you think? What do you think Chunks should do?
I don't know.
What should?
I
What should he be motivated by?
he should he should be. Well, I expect him to be motivated by he portrays himself as someone who's very loyal, portrays himself as someone who's very humble. So given those characteristics, I would assume he's not motivated by money. Um, that he's motivated by money to do what he's doing, but not to the point where he would throw his friend under the bus, because that's essentially what it looks like he's done by giving this statement.
Do you think? Do you think? Yeah, but yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you think by him saying what he's saying is throwing his friend under the bus? What can realistically he do? What do you think he can realistically do given the circumstances right now? What do you think like Chucks
He
can
could just stay
realistically?
quiet. He can just stay quiet. He can just literally just stay quiet and not say anything. They had a show coming up. I think it was scheduled for next week. It was a
Yeah,
live show
It
for
was
their
scheduled.
podcast
It was scheduled for tomorrow.
for tomorrow. Okay, there you go. So that he's probably lost a lot of money on that. He's probably lost. They made a lot of investments, and that cancellation's probably cost him. But I don't think that's the motivation behind him wanting to bring out that statement. I genuinely don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I could even assume I knew what would be a good enough reason for him to come out with that statement. And
personally, I don't think he's being unloyal. I don't
do
think.
you
I
no,
think
but sorry, what I wanted to ask you, do you think, because I'm assuming it was scripted, do you think it looked scripted as well? Do you think it looked natural, or do you think it looked like something that was given to him to say?
no. I think it was natural. I think given the circumstances, given the situation, there is nothing that he can do. There is nothing that he can say. And I think by him, if he starts giving his opinion about what's going on, he can actually even harm the situation even more. Given the situation, I don't think he can do anything. I don't think he even knows because he remember he wasn't there with him when all of this took place, when all of this happened. He doesn't know the ins and outs. He doesn't know what took place in that thing. Now everyone is on top of him saying you have to react. What's your reaction? Because when we see Philly, we see Chunks. So we know these guys have been working together for many years. They everyone they're almost like brothers at this point. So he wasn't there. He doesn't know the ins and outs. I don't even know if he's talking to him, if he's not talking to him. But and what if, for example, Philly said, "Yo, bro, don't talk about it. This is what I've been advised." That's what I'm saying. We don't know that either. If he's been told not to say anything, and you know, so to me, he had to give a reaction. He had to give a reaction because guess what? People are on top of him, asking him to react. And now, of course, what people want to hear is him saying, you know, either saying he's innocent or saying, yeah, he's the type that would do that. That's what people really want to hear. But we don't know who he has spoken to behind the scenes, if he has spoken to Philly, what Philly has told him to say or not to say. So for us to even accuse him as not being loyal, I think that's a stretch and a half. Because you know, so let's say in the spirit of loyalty, I go out there and I start yapping and I start talking. And now they can use that against me, or they can use that against him in court, for example. Let's say that takes place. So there's a lot that can go wrong with him talking and saying what he thinks and giving his opinion, especially when he doesn't know all the ins and outs, especially when he wasn't there, especially when he doesn't know anything. And I doubt very much that if it does come to light that Thingy really did this, what's his name, uh, Philly, then I doubt very much that he would want to be friends with Philly afterwards. I think he would be. I would never be friends with. I don't care how long me and you been brothers for. If you get accused of rape, that's friendship done. You know what I mean? Like I don't want a person like you around me. And I know it sounds harsh. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wish you the best. I wish you do something to apologize to you know to the people you've harmed and all of that. But I won't associate myself with that person. And I'm assuming all of this is going through yeah Chunks' mind. You know what I mean? How am I gonna let's say is loyal to him and he starts saying he's innocent, blah 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 blah, and then the court case happens, and then it turns out that he's actually guilty. What then? How is he going to look at himself in the mirror? Anyways, Hassan, what's your thoughts?
Sorry, I was on mute. So we're making. Actually, let me ask you a random question, just for the sake of entertainment. Is that okay?
Yeah, but you agree with me though. You know what I mean? I'm right.
Let me ask you a random question though, before we do that. Would you? And this is unscripted. This is completely out of the. But this is for the sake of an experiment, as I think we're making a few assumptions. Would you, Octavia? Would you be happy if I married one of your relatives?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Based on our interaction.
Based on our friendship, from what I know of you, yes.
Okay. Can I play this clip for you?
I wish you were Christian. I wish you were Christian though. That would have been even better.
I know that's the caveat.
Yeah, go on.
And that's a fair caveat.
If we're talking about just as a man, your character and all of that, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I appreciate that, and the whole you'd have to convert to Christianity. That's a fair caveat because you're very committed to Christianity and you perceive it to be the truth. So that doesn't take away from what you're saying. That's just a caveat. But yeah, so can I play this?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I've shared it. I've shared my screen.
Okay. There you go.
What? Do you let me marry into your family? 110%. You specifically, you are a great flipping human being on my life, brother. Yeah, I'll let you.
I wouldn't let you marry my family. But
Why? I'm a good man.
yeah.
What's wrong with me?
No, I have too many stories.
What stories?
Huh? Then to the left. That's very scary.
Yeah, but what?
Do you let me marry into your family?
So can you hear me? Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I heard that. Mr. M, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it fine.
It's a bit mad still.
So that's my perspective. I don't think they're actually friends. I've seen videos of them talking about how they don't really meet up outside of work. and that they met each other not in school, not before the entertainment industry, but through the entertainment industry. So a part of me thinks it isn't disloyalty; it is him protecting his brand for somebody being from somebody's accusation or somebody that he works with. I don't think they're friends. I think the optics are we're all friends, and that's a part of social media. We're all best buddies. We'll hang out.
That wasn't my argument. Do you believe that?
Sorry, Mr. M, sir, you sound far away, bro.
Do you believe
Your audio's a bit.
Your audio's a bit. You sound far away, and it's cutting up.
I think Mr. M has probably a good question. Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Yes, perfect. Yes.
Do you sorry? Do you believe that the statement that Chunks came out with was natural and wasn't scripted?
I think it was scripted. Very scripted.
Okay.
I don't think it was scripted.
So we believe it's scripted. Just for sake of argument, since you believe it's scripted, why and who wrote that script for him?
Probably one of his managers, probably one of his PR people.
In order to protect his image.
Yes.
Okay, so he's more loyal to his brand and his image than his quote unquote friend.
That's the thing. We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
He's in your perspective, he's not actually a friend even.
Yeah. I think they're just colleagues. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's a totally
different
believable theory that could possibly be true.
Yeah.
Even I was just really surprised by his statement altogether, genuinely. But what you're saying is they're not even really friends, and in that case then what Chunks did was in actual fact the right thing to do. This is my colleague, and my colleague could possibly ruin what I've built all of these years. I'm not about to let that happen, so I'm going to make the statement.
And if I'd like to add, if they truly were friends, I think what he could, and he was on the fence in the sense that I've known this guy for years, and I know him like a brother, and I don't think he's guilty. Then if he said nothing, that would make sense. Then so that it goes from making a public statement protecting my brand. That would be unfair to somebody who's a friend to a certain degree, given assuming that they have a deep relationship. But I don't think the deep relationship is there. Let's say they are friends and they're well acquainted with each other, and they've known each other for the years, and they know each other outside of the industry. For him to say nothing, that's fine, because he doesn't want to sway one way or the other, and he just wants to still protect his brand, but still protect his loyalty to his friend. But then there's the third part.
I actually I'm gonna contest that, because I genuinely believe even if members of his own beta squad, if they were accused of something, and can we argue that can we agree that they're friends?
Yes.
If they were even accused of something, if they were even accused of something, that he would bring out possibly a statement like this as well.
I don't think he would. From my assessment, I think if it was his cousin, the Dark Man or whatever he's called, or
Darkest Man,
or one of the other guys that he's known for years, you see him actually doing the videos in his bedroom or his room or something when he first started.
So then you know what, that would make his image look even worse than possibly, because then it would be like Chunks would be looked at like because although I understand what you're saying, that's not what the rest of the UK believe. They believe that these two are best of friends. They believe, because they've given out this image that these two are the best of friends, and what you're now saying would mean Chunks is very selective, and Chunks is very almost he just had Philly on his side just to get to
just because he's got a stupid name doesn't mean he's stupid, I don't think.
Okay. So you're saying he was calculated in all of this?
I think it's a case.
So Chunks is basically what you've made him out to be is a YouTube mastermind, and he had this all planned basically, and he had it planned to you know, use Philly to get to where he needs to get to now, and they're not really friends, but
I
he's just
think the
been using them.
opportunity. I think the opportunity arose, and the case was, hey, you've got a brand, I've got a brand. Why not just? Why not?
I think this puts Chunks in a very difficult position, because that would actually expose him. If one of his Beta Squad members came out and with a grape allegation, and he didn't behave in the same manner that he's behaving now, bringing out a statement, and he actually goes out online immediately and starts saying things like, hey, this is my brother, he would never do something like this, let's wait for the truth to come out, then yeah, that's going to expose him. That'll expose him real badly. I don't think Chunks is he's a very smart fellow, from what I'm seeing.
I don't think there are many like Philly, because you'll see episodes of them sitting around the table with Philly saying, oh, when I first met you, you were rude. Oh, when I first met you, you were dismissive. Oh, you're this, you're that, you're this. So Philly's not, his character is out of place with the Beta Squad and YouTube personalities in general. That's why there's so many green lights in terms of going against his character, because a lot of other YouTubers just don't like him out of behind the cameras.
But we're only hearing this now.
Hold on, guys.
From the buckets.
I'm sorry, but you know, Mr. M, you're right in saying we only hearing this now, because
we're only hearing this now.
Like, they've been working. Okay, even if we don't know what happens behind the scenes, they've been working together for too long. Show after show, every time you see one, you see the other one. It's like they're inseparable. I mean, to deny that they would have built a bond, to work with someone for that long and not having built a bond.
They were on they were on a 2-hour podcast together. I just remember they were on a 2-hour podcast together, talking about how much they've bonded over the years, all the things that they, you know, all the secrets of you can be. There are people that you've probably been in, you know, friends with for years, for 10 years, and you can meet someone and you can know them for a year, and that person that you've known for a year, you'll treat them, or you'll feel like this person's more your brother than the person that you've known for 10 years, just based on what you share. You could even trauma bonded. You guys could have bonded on anything, whatever it could be. I can't now. I'm going to contest that. I genuinely believe that they've been around with each other so long that you can't argue that they're not friends. At least we can't say.
I'm still going to contest it, because one, for him to say to his face, I would not let you marry into my family because I've heard things. Why is it that rumors are casting a suspicion on this person's character? Do you not know him well enough?
No. I think it's because of it's the nature of their friendship. That's
it's the nature of their friendship. Yeah, that's what it seemed like as well. And obviously, you got to remember, this is a show as well, so they have to like build some sort of content. That sort of, you know, brotherly back and forth is fine. We do this all the time. We do this to each other as lads. Like, best of friends will say that to each other. I know what you're like. You're a scumbag. I wouldn't let you marry my sister. It's almost that sort of. It's banter, honestly.
It is that sort of thing, basically. It is that sort of thing. So that's why I don't buy this whole thing. They're not friends. I think they are friends, but I truly don't believe Thing is being unloyal. I don't believe he's not being loyal to what's his name, to Philly. I think he's in a position. Chunks is in a position where he literally can't do anything. He can't do anything, and it's not.
So don't say anything.
But but the thing is, he had to say something because guess what? So many people want to know, Chunks, what's your reaction? Like I said on my records, I did a reaction on this. What did you expect him to say? Of course, he's going to say, listen, I can't comment on this. First of all, this is being investigated. So me giving you my opinion on this situation really can go against them. So it's being investigated. I wasn't there. I didn't witness anything. I don't know if this happened or not happened. Let's say I support him, and then it comes out that this person actually did that. I don't know if I'm going to be friends with him after this. If he's guilty, all of that is going through his head. There is nothing that he can literally do.
That's fine. That's fine.
For these guys, for these idiots here, Fresh and Fit, to accuse them of not being loyal, or you're not being loyal to your boy. Do you think this is a joke? This is a great charge. This is not. He's trying to say, oh, when Thingy went through this, I had his back and all of that. It's not the same situation. We're talking about rape charge. We're talking about this guy facing time in prison. We're not talking about some minor little whatever because fresh got exposed by some OnlyFans girls. We're not talking about that. There's serious ramifications here. So this idea that he's supposed to come out and say, bro, you can't be stupid when the consequences can lead your friend to prison. And what if Philly told him, yo, bro, don't say nothing. But I think that reaction was appropriate when he said, look, guys, I can't comment on it. He had to say something just to calm people down, just to calm all the fans down, just to get people off of his back. Um, uh, in regards to react to this, we want you to react to this. We want you to react to what's going on. It's like what? Plus they're business partners too, guys. They involved in the they involved. I'm sure they've got business deals together. If he starts saying things, that could go against him in the end. You know what I mean? There's a lot there, man. But I don't think Chunks can do anything personally. That's the situation, and I don't think it has anything to do with loyalty. It's just a situation that he finds himself in.
The
Shout out
job
to
is
48 of you guys watching. Shout out, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe. We're giving you some great content here, some great perspectives. And shout out to Mr. M for being with us as well. Shout out to our son. Guys, subscribe to the channel. All right. Yeah, go ahead, Hassan. So you were saying.
okay. So I get the responsibility that he has, that he's built a brand, and that it's united we stand, divided we fall, and that's the mature attitude. And this concept of fresh and fit, that he's being disloyal because one of his friends has been accused of something, well, that's off camera, and him destroying his own reputation to preserve just a comment on something that will not affect the case in any way, shape, or form can be a bit reckless. So what Fresh and Fit are asking for is a bit much. On the other hand, if he was friends, saying nothing would be better than saying, hey, legally, I can't comment on this person. Well, it's not true, really. I mean, you're just expressing your opinion. I don't know the certainty of that. It's a go-to that helps eliminate any sense of responsibility from his end. Does it work? I guess so. Because legally, what's going to happen? Because he's not involved in the case, the only ramification would be either her suing him or him suing him. Philly suing him, or the girl that's involved suing him after it all comes to light, because your comments were, swayed the court of public opinion or had an influence on the jurors and such, but and help intimidate the witness or something along those lines. But to say nothing would have been better in terms of, this is my friend, therefore I'm presenting an emotionally neutral position, because if I show a legal statement, it means that I for certain I don't care about you to a certain degree, right? Having said that, I do have one more clip, and it's named Chunks and Philly Aren't Friends. So this is them talking about how they're not friends. So I mean, I don't know.
Just before you play that.
Yeah. Your audio's gone again, Mr. M. Your audio's gone again.
Sorry, just before you play that, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
I just want to quickly ask a question. Let's say, for example, now, there's a contract between them with regard to their live show. There's a loss of money, and because Philly's now broken that contract, Chunks is in a position now to execute some sort of a clause in the contract that states if one person for whatever reason doesn't see out their contract, they owe the other person X amount of money. If Chunks now were to take Philly to court, is he a bad friend, or is he a good businessman?
If he was to take Philly to court,
for what's
how would
rightfully
he do
his.
that? Hold on.
For
Take
what's
him,
rightfully his.
okay, take him to court while he's in jail.
No. Let's say like after the innocence, all of that stuff comes out, and now he's back, back in the UK, and all the charges have been dropped.
Oh, I see. So Philly's innocent. Okay. So why would Thingy take him to court?
Because he's activating the loss of money that they've lost out on the contract, the live show that's scheduled for tomorrow.
Oh, is that
Oh, I
Chunks
see.
suing? Is that Chunks suing Philly?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's,
I think that would be wrong. I think even to me, I would think that's a fake friend. If he did that, that's a fake. The reason is because um remember the scenario that you've given. Philly is innocent on this one, so the least he could do, Chunks, is basically say, "Damn, bro, man, it's a shame you went through what you went through." Now, for Philly to go through what he went through, and then he comes back to UK, and the first thing that's happening is man taking him to court. It's not taking you to court, bro. He should have been here for those shows. That's wrong. It's wrong. That is not real friendship. That's fake.
Oh yeah, my answer. That's what an enemy would do. Take you to court for loss of earnings for being falsely accused. That's what he. It's almost as if he wants you to be guilty. So, yeah, fake friend.
That's what I would say. Yeah. You wanted to play that?
Yeah.
Hassan, yeah, go ahead, Hassan.
But before I do you think he's gonna sue him or?
no, I don't think he's. I don't think he's going to sue him. I just thought, because obviously I'm just building on the scenario that you're building, that you're bringing with the idea that they're not friends. I've never considered that. I've always considered them to be friends. I've always considered them to be quite close. The only thing that I was, because obviously Chunks hadn't said anything. Remember, initially he hadn't said anything for quite some time at the beginning.
Yeah.
Some of his other friends, because he's part of some sort of football, interactive football FIFA thing, live streaming with some other YouTubers, and they've spoken on it because they're obviously live. So imagine they're being confronted on in real time. Say something on this, say something on this. So they given a live, honest opinion. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't have any facts, and let's just wait for all the facts to come out, and then they just jump away from it. I think that's what Chunk should have done.
Yeah, but why Mr. M? If I could just why wouldn't he do that? Why wouldn't he say, "Hey guys, I don't know what's going on. We'll have to see what happens." Not a more sterile, because this.
I just say it naturally. Just be natural, just like they were. They were natural. He was scripted about it, and that's the only reason I thought.
Isn't that what suspicion that they may not be friends? That he chose a script rather than just making a genuine, honest answer that everybody would have apprecited and said, "I don't know what's going on."
But then if I agree, if I agree with that, Hassan, if I agree with the fact that they're not friends, then I would have to then point the finger at Chunks being a fake person. Then I can't do that.
Or a colleague.
Not even a colleague. These guys have made songs together. They've done a lot. There's been a long career with these two. They've been with each other for the past 9 or 8 years. I think 8 or 9 years.
They're in their late 20s. They make a lot of money from entertainment. Just because it seems genuine, the product seems genuine, doesn't necessarily mean that they're stripped of responsibilities and the awareness this is just a job and there's opportunity for them to make a living from essentially bucket challenges or whatever they're doing. The idea that therefore they must be friends because they've been together for so long on camera, as we can see, it's an assumption, but it's not an assertion. The only spanner in the works in that assertion is the sterile, cold response that, hey, I'm saying something that there is no way for it to backfire on me because it's a PR answer that's legally sound to a certain degree.
Bro, so can I ask you, Hassan, how should he have said it in your eyes? How should he have said it?
It depends on the perspective. If they're really close friends, guys, I don't know what's going on. I'm not too sure, which would have been fair. I don't know what's going on. I know as much as you. We should let the legal process see its way through, and that's it. And that's it.
Isn't that what he said?
No, it goes, I legally cannot comment on this and blah, blah, blah. and then he turned the camera off. It's a very legally, there's no legal recompense for him, and that's good. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking that part, but I don't accept the idea that they're friends because he presented a textbook written answer when he could have. Now, why am I saying as a friend he should give a more sincere, less scripted answer? Because
No, he just said, look, I legally, guys, as you guys know, this is good, school proceedings. I legally can't comment on this. Yeah, love. That's it. I mean, come on, like, what other language? It's like it's okay. You don't like the way he said it.
No.
That's
I can't comment this. I can't comment on this for legal reasons. Meaning, I'm protecting myself legally. It's not illegal for him to say something. It's not illegal for him to say she did it. I think she's lying. I think he got caught. It's not illegal. That's his opinion. She could take him to court for it, but it's not illegal. For him to say he's innocent or he did it, it's not illegal. It's not illegal. It can be taken to court, but there's no legal bound. There's not a lawyer. When your friend
two work together, bro.
Octavio. When your friend is accused of rape, a lawyer doesn't knock on your door and with a gun to your head say, hey, if you say anything, I'm going to take you to court or whatever. No. It's you say something publicly, you're at legal risk. So what he's doing is protecting himself legally, which is fine. I get that. That's great. It's a mature thing to do. And I completely accept that because I don't perceive them as being friends. I perceive them as being colleagues because I do not buy into the perception that just because they work together, they're friends, just because they've had long careers together, they're friends. It's still a job at the end of the day. It's nobody, I don't know. I look at the beta squad and you look at their thing. Nobody does this on a normal day. Nobody goes and, pokes a line or whatever challenge they have. It's a job. It's a job.
I'm sorry. I don't, because you also have to take into account that these guys got businesses together. So there are legal obligations here, and he has to be careful with what he says because there's legal ties here. He has to be careful what he says. He has to be careful how what comes out of his mouth because this is a serious case. It's a serious situation that Feeney is in. So he can't just say anything. And if he ends up just for the sake of people want to see me being a bit more warm towards my talking as a friend, it's like he might end up saying the wrong thing or say something that's not. And what he says will matter. What he says will. Because of the relationship that they've had for so long. I think they have a personal friendship, and I think they have legal business relationship as well, because they've been working for so long. So what he says matters, and that's why it's important for him to talk the way he's talking. I don't. People need to understand that this is a serious issue. You can't just be saying anything because what if it's used against Philly? What if it's used against him? What if they try to find a way of dragging him? Look, he's a person of interest. Why? Because of the relationship that he has with Philly. He knows Philly for a very long time. What if he gets? What if the prosecutors want to take him to court and question him? Have you ever seen this type of behavior from him? You know him to be this type of guy, and blah 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 blah. This can this can implicate him. So he has to talk. He has to use legal language. You know what I mean? He has to. He has to do that in order for him to try and distance himself as much as possible from this situation. Because, and like I said before, he wasn't there. He didn't witness everything that happened. So, but he can be implicated in all of it easily.
Everything you're saying is in relation to everything that you're saying, which is right, is in relation to legal consequences and financial consequences. The fact that their friendship is there wasn't considered, and you're correct. The fact that he is taking the path with the least legal consequences is nothing wrong with that. But it's only fair because they're not friends. If they were friends, he could take a path that has no legal consequence, but is not a textbook answer that comes from him rather than one that's scripted. Because what he gave is scripted, and you said it yourself. You said legally it cannot be. He can't. He has to say that. He has to go down a path, because if he goes down any other path, he opens the door to a variety of legal consequences. The only path that leads to zero legal consequences is a scripted one.
I disagree, but we can argue forever. Do you want to play the video? Because we're gonna finish in the next 10
In
minutes.
general, over the years, does Philly come for the sole purpose of chilling with the mandem? What's the answer?
If he
Well,
says no, I'll be so upset.
No. There you go. There you go. Because you come to either film, then you're gonna do something else. You're gonna come sleep over because we've got a film tomorrow, the next day. We've got an airport. Don't make it seem like you're coming just telling the man. Wallah, that's not the case.
We've been to Philly's house more than he's come to ours just to chill.
There you go.
Illy, hang up the phone, you 5-headed prick. You make me sick, you do, you know.
Love.
He's
Well,
lying.
In general, over the years.
So over the years, they're not friends. There you go. This is his colleague.
Allow it, man. Allow it, bro. Allow it.
These are just isolated incidents. These are just
Yeah. Sorry, bro. You're far away again. You're far away again.
These are isolated incidents. They're obviously taking a mick out of him for being that friend, but everyone has that friend.
Exactly, bro.
Everyone's got that one friend in the group who doesn't make an effort, but you're still friends. You know, everyone who's got that one friend who just calls you when they need something, but you're still friends. That clip doesn't.
Okay, Mr. M. Mr.
Hold on. Hassan. That actually proves that they're friends, because you'd only talk to that. You only talk like that towards a friend. I've got friends like that. One of my best friends, we used to accuse him of being, that type of friend. You know, so why do we always have to go to his? I mean, tell him to come down here. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the kind of stuff you say to a friend. If the guy, if it was really a situation where they're not really thingy, why is what's his name? Why is Chunks even bringing it up? Why is this such an issue for Chunks? Why is Chunks getting all like,
it's content for the podcast, and also it's something that friends always do. Like, they always take the mick out of each other on what they fail on in the friendship group. So I genuinely.
Okay, Mr. M.
Hassan, take the L, bro. Take the L.
I'm not taking it. I'll rest my case. Both of you started by this, but it's not L. It's not L. These guys aren't friends. They're just colleagues, and one of their colleagues got done for grape. Is accused of grape. So, and they're just choosing to distance themselves because he's not their friend. That's it. I'm
sorry. Go on. What were we gonna ask?
That was funny.
I was gonna ask you. If one of your friends that doesn't hang out around, doesn't come out much, only comes out when it's convenient for him, was accused of grape, and you had a show with them, would you give a textbook answer like that, a scripted answer, or would you give a more sincere answer?
Again, it was, like Octavia said, it was like it depends on what my intentions are. What am I driven by? What's my goal? Do I care about brands? Do I care about? Who's my manager? Am I the type of person that's got family as managers? And what are my family's kind of fundamentals, influences? So there's so many. I couldn't tell you unless I was actually in the situation. I'd have to be in the situation. But I would like to think whatever decision I'd make it based on the advice I'm getting from, people I put in positions to put, me in a better position. Or maybe, again, that could be brand focused, or that could be money focused, or future focused. I couldn't tell you, genuinely, I couldn't tell you what I would do. But what I'm just saying is, in this situation, I felt that the answer was scripted. You feel the same. And if it is scripted, why? And who asked him to do that, and for what reason? I'd love to know those answers.
But can I just add? They can give him the script. It's still up to him to take it. He's the one that makes the decision at the end of the day. That says, you know what?
Yeah, at the same time, but then, okay. What we know for a fact is, in Philly's case, his conditions are you can. It doesn't say you can't speak to anyone outside the UK. It just says you can't speak to anyone outside the UK about your case. So they could, in fact, be in communication, him and Chunks, and they could actually be, Chunks could actually been informed. Listen, bye, Philly. Listen, whatever you need to do to protect yourself. I don't mind.
Okay.
Obviously, you're my brother. It is where it is, and I get it. I've put you in a difficult position. Obviously, I haven't. I can't speak about the case. You know this. But whatever you need to say or whatever you need to do to protect your face or whatever, do it, bro. Like I give you my full backing or full support. That could possibly be the situation. We don't know that behind the scenes what's happening.
Fair enough.
We're just speculating right now. But I just genuinely felt like that answer was scripted, and since it was scripted, why and who's asked you to do that? And if if it was with the backing of Philly, then so be it. If it weren't, then why did you do that? That's very very peculiar, very weird.
Okay, guys, let's give our last thoughts. We're gonna end the live. Yes, let's give our last thoughts in regards to what we've been talking about. Hassan, do you wanna go first?
Yeah. Well, what I've learned from this thing is this case so far is, one, people don't even think twice that a promiscuous lifestyle has consequences. Two, there's a lot of people who will feed off your fall from grace very quickly, like hyenas or vultures. Probably more like hyenas. Very quickly to make themselves look good and you look bad. Especially if you're a man accused of anything sex related, whether you're innocent or not. And people will go out, they'll just protect themselves. And this is the industry. And unfortunately, a lot of people are very eager to feed off gossip, which has no bearing on their lives at all. Because if he's innocent, it's really a lot of egg on a lot of people's faces.
My last thoughts, I would say that what's happening to young Philly is a consequence of the promiscuous culture that we currently live in. Like I said on my reaction, the likelihood of this happening to a man who is married to one woman, sorry, to his wife, and has children is almost impossible in comparison to a man who's going out sleeping with different random women that he doesn't know anything about. So yes, this is a consequence of a promiscuous culture that is not being addressed. The only thing that's being addressed is the consequence, which I don't think it will help us going forward. We have to address the root of the problem in order to avoid all of these issues from happening. And unfortunately, we are not doing that. Why? Because I think we have a uh, due to people adopting a new nihilist religion or religion of atheism. That basically, when I say religion of atheism, I'm talking about religion of atheism, feminism, so on. They have become very nihilistic, and if you know anything about nihilism, basically it's like living your life without any meaning. You don't believe in nothing. Nothing has any meaning. So people have, in that state, people want to be self-righteous. In that state, people want to feel when you're living your life when you believe that life is meaningless, um, it, uh, it's impossible for you to live out your life like that because everything you do it because why do you wake up then if life is meaningless? Um, is because we find meaning in life. So trying to force yourself, there are consequences to that. Trying to live out a nihilistic lifestyle. So people have this tendency, this thing of wanting to be self-righteous, and I think this is the current culture that we currently have right now, which is a self-righteous culture. This is why everyone is so quick to accuse them, even though they don't know all the facts, they don't know anything. They just want to be able to pass judgment and feel like they are right about something, but that's because they live in a completely a meaningless lifestyle, which doesn't uh, s- s- it's not in accordance with reality, because reality we find meaning in a lot of things, and yet they're trying to live out this nihilistic lifestyle. So they develop the self-righteous attitude, which is to pass judgment and accuse people without even knowing all the facts. And unfortunately, that's the current society that we're living in today. Um, in regards to Chunks and his, I, to me, I think Chunks isn't. There's nothing that Chunks can do. Absolutely, there's nothing that Chunks can do. I don't think Chunks has been unloyal at all. I think he is doing what he's supposed to do. I don't. I mean, just imagine even being in that situation. Just put yourself in his shoes. What would you do if your friend got accused of that? Someone that you've known for so long, that you have a friendship with, that you have, that you have that you've made money together, you've got legal business. What would you do if you were put in that situation? Even the question of would you be his friend again? Would you continue to be his friend if he was accused? I mean, this is a decision that he has to make. So I don't think it's about loyalty. I just think he's in the dark like everyone else. He doesn't know all the ins and outs. And for all we know, Philly told him not to say anything. And um, and yeah, and their friendship is tied to business deals and all of that type of stuff. So I think his reaction what's his name? Chunk's reaction was not only I predicted that reaction. I predicted him to have that reaction. But it's also all he can do. That's the only way he can react in regards to this situation, especially when he can be called to court, and so on, so he can be involved in this. But yeah, that's my final thoughts on this. There's so much we covered, but yeah, go ahead, Mr. M.
Yeah, I think you guys have covered it quite well. I would only add my final thoughts on this would be that we should, you know, look at this as a situation to learn from in the future, just not to jump the gun, to wait for everything to come out, um, you know, to not be swayed by public opinion and just get all the facts before you even share your own. Um, you're right about promiscuity. You're right about how it's ruining the societies, um, and I say the only solution to that would probably be just marriage, um, getting married, and just and just serving a purpose in this world. Apart from that, yeah, if he is innocent, I wish the brother a speedy comeback. Um, it's harsh that he's had to lose all these deals, and if he is guilty of this crime, then I hope that the time that he serves in jail, if he does go to jail or whatever, he does. It serves as rehabilitation for him, and it makes him a better person. Either way, we'll just have to wait and see. Those are my final thoughts. But with regard to what Chunks was saying, I think Chunks um, made his decision. Gave out a statement. Why he did that, I genuinely don't know, but I respect his decision on doing it. And yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah, sorry, was that it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, shouts to everyone that was watching today. We got 48 of you guys watching currently. Shouts to shouts to Mr. M for being back on the platform. Shouts to Hassan. Hopefully we'll see Mr. M more often. Next time, hopefully we'll see him next time and more often after that. It's definitely great to have another great, voice to the podcast. It's definitely good. But yeah, shouts to everyone interacting with Solution Podcast today. And yeah, guys, we'll see you next time on the next live, guys. Okay, next reaction, next live. Guys, take care. Peace. Salute to everyone.
Take care.